listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Peter's Ralphie.
Let's go, baby.
Get your shimmy on. Get your shimmy on. What's up, family? Welcome in to another edition of the PHIX/AM and the PM right here on A2D Radio. We're all live from our own Real Talk studio still. Every Wednesday, we're brought to you by Art Doc. Make them yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Ralph Dellavecchio, Greg Milakovic, Frank Vespe. We're here, family. We're here to talk to you tonight, and sports are back. They're right there. I mean, baseball next Friday. We're right there. We're right around the corner, and basketball right behind it. Let's go. We got a ton to talk about tonight. Later on the show, we'll do dumbest thing of the week. Ben Simmons got a new position, playing a little four. I like the air quotes because I was going to give them. So thanks for stepping in. Appreciate you. Now playing the four. Shake playing the point. We'll see what that does. We're going to talk a ton of Sixers tonight, obviously. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, Ala. We're coming in for a landing. Jason Peters returns. I mean, that's going to be a great topic tonight because there's a crumb on this panel who didn't believe it, didn't want to talk about it, puts his head down again because that's how serious. Yeah, there she is. There she is. Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies discussion are all on hand tonight. And our main topic of the show is who do you believe are the Philly athletes that are under the most pressure in 2020 with everything coming back, which ties into our poll question brought to you by Ambuck Services. All right, for all your gutter restorations, gutter guards, gutter installation, deck restoration, everything outside their house. Tell them the boys from A2D Radio sent you 20% off. AMBUCKservices.com. Joel Embiid is the Philly athlete under the most pressure in 2020. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's when we're live. Comment in everywhere you get your podcast. You can find us there as well. Like, follow, subscribe. You know the deal. Let's talk about it. And we're all going to have lists. We have our own list here of 3 for each one of these teams that need to step up. All right? They need to step up for these teams to get to where we think they need to get to in these shortened runs here for right now the Sixers, Phillies, and then we'll also got the Eagles tied in when they jump back in September, hopefully, right? So we got all that to talk about tonight. So it's exciting. I mean, it really is to finally have it back and to be able to really talk about it. Tonight's different than a lot of shows we've done over the last 100+ days, right? I mean, it's a change of pace. It's a change in direction of like some competitiveness. I've been lucky to be able to coach, so I've been able to get the competitiveness out a little bit, right? But for watching purposes and our teams and the stuff we love, like when it comes to our pro sports, it's finally back. It's right here. You can taste it. Even else you can taste it, Ralphie. Yeah. We can taste her. All right. Joel Embiid is a Philly athlete. Most under pressure in 2020. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Chime in. I'm gonna say agree because I think the Sixers have a legitimate chance of making a run. And if they want to make a run, it's going to fall on the shoulders of their best player, right? It's going to fall. If they want to go to the Eastern Conference Finals here, okay, it's going to fall on the shoulders of Joel Embiid carrying this basketball club there. It's that simple. It comes down to your star player in this league. All right, if he comes to play and he's dominant, like we think he can be and what we've seen, then we can make a legitimate run here. And Ben is too, Park. Somebody, I said the ride too. I said, or Ben, right? Right. Ryan knows. As soon as he asked me about the poll, I said, or Ben, either or. It doesn't matter because that's the team I think that has a legit chance of winning, excluding the Eagles right now. Excluding the Eagles, I think that's the team that has a better chance of the 2 of winning, or the Sixers, than the Phillies. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go off of my star guys. And Joel is the bigger star, in my opinion, because he can be more dominant. He can change the game offensively and defensively. Not that Ben can't, but his offensive game is way more polished, as we know. All right, and if he can log big-time minutes here, big-time minutes in this stretch, just run here, and they can stay healthy, this Sixers team can make a legitimate run to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe even the NBA Finals. Do you agree or disagree, family, with that statement? Do you agree or disagree? They easily can. If Joel comes to play and Ben obviously comes to play, this team can make a run. It's about your stars. More than any other sport, it's star-driven. And you got two here. So, is this a maturation right here to be able to bubble off with your teammates, right? Maybe this is what the Sixers needed to be able to grow with each other. We always talk about it in basketball and in hockey when things are going wrong. Sometimes you actually want the West Coast trip up, right?
Go on a road trip, yep.
Get away, hang with each other, soak it in with each other, and then guess what? Maybe you go on a little run. So for a team that maybe had some chemistry issues, this could be a positive for them. It could be. And everything being condensed and then being younger. Listen, I have no disagreements with the poll, with everything coming in, with Brett Brown and Fire and this, that, and the third. But right now, I'm not going to get into the fire conversation. I want to get into the winning conversation. I don't want to talk about firing yet. We'll fire him if he doesn't get the job done. We don't want to talk about firing right now. I'll fire him if he doesn't get the job done. Okay? But right now, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win goddamn basketball games. Talk about firing him right now. What are we talking about? Well, against Florida. Fire him. Get rid of him. Can we play a little bit here? Can you give me the, like, August 8th before we thought even have the conversation? And yeah, Sixers have to be in the Eastern Conference Finals or it's a complete failure. Absolutely. It's factual. And I think if Joel Embiid comes to play, this team can go there. As well as Ben Simmons. So to the poll, I agree. Because he's under pressure because he's the most scrutinized out of all of them. That's the bigger point of why it's more even than a great. Not only is he a star player, and you go on your stars, but who's more polarizing in this city? And don't even tell me Carson Wentz, because it's not even close. Stop it. Like, don't even bring it up. The most polarizing figure in Philadelphia sports is Joel Embiid. It's not even Bryce Harper. You understand this? It's not even Bryce Harper. It is Joel Embiid for different things. People will crush him and they'll love him. Harper never gets crushed. It's a love affair. So that's why he's the most polarized. My opinion, Joel Embiid. That's why he's under the most pressure. Because everything he says gets broken down, right? Every little word gets broken down on what he says. So that's why I think he's the biggest guy under pressure. Ben can just skate through, right? Ben can skate through and not get a lot of criticism, maybe a little bit, right? But Joe's going to get it all. Joe's going to get it all when it comes to Philadelphia 76ers outside of Brett Brown. If you disagree with that, or you disagree that Joel Embiid is the most polarizing Philadelphia athlete, then I can't help anybody tonight. So the poll, I agree. Gentlemen, whoever, let's go.
Go ahead, Ralphie.
Quentin, I'm up. Quentin, I'm here. I found finally a purple haze. It's been a shortage of shit. Been doing freaking cotton candy, some rosé shit. Nah, I got no time for it. Purple haze, blue rise. That's what I'm talking about. Now I'm back. The Sixers are coming back, and I think the Phillies can make a run too. We're going to get there in a little bit. We'll get there, but right now, I'm just talking about the poll and name a more polarizing athlete. I want you to think about it as we circle the room here, because there isn't one.
Ralphie, you want me to go or you want to go, buddy?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay. We'll ease you in. I'm going to also agree to the poll. I think there's only one other person that I believe is under more pressure in this city, and he's not a player, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But as far as players, as far as the poll, absolutely he's the most under pressure. More than Wentz, more than Bryce Harper, more than Simmons, because especially when you talk about it, in this kind of condensed handful of months to go here. And people could find this surprising, but this kind of goes along with Tom. I have higher expectations for the Sixers right now than I do for the Philadelphia Eagles because we're closer to it. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles still have to go through that entire season and then playoff spree. The Sixers are on the eve of the playoffs. We know what this team was supposed to be. We know what this team is supposed to be, what it's capable of. And we know, obviously, at the very top of that, what Joel Embiid is capable of. I think the pressure is also on him because you're going into now the third playoffs of, session or series of his career, and you look at the first 2 years, obviously last year and the year before, what was the common theme? Joel Embiid wasn't nearly 100%. It was first with the orbital fracture. Thanks, Markel Fultz, appreciate you, where he was the phantom of the process. He had the mask, and he wasn't nearly 100% even when he was finally back, in the second series. Or last year when it seemed like everything that could go wrong with Joel went wrong. So he's been talking a lot, and obviously he came out, late last week, and he made himself accountable for kind of going through the motions earlier this season, not being happy with the offense, which I know we all talked about during the season, talk about what the hell is going on with this guy. He brought it out in the open. He said he needs to be better. Obviously, to your point, Tom, with him being polarizing, there's a lot of reasons why he is, but I think it starts and ends with the discussion of whether or not he's in shape. So that always seems like a bigger question. It's not even a question.
Well, like it right now that he is from what we're hearing.
I agree with you, but like we were kind of joking last week, we've heard this story before. It's kind of like the same thing with like Ben Simmons shooting. Like we've seen it. We've heard he's shooting. We've heard Joel Embiid's off the Chick-fil-A, and hopefully he is now that he's literally in a bubble. And
there's nothing wrong with Chick-fil-A, by the way. There's nothing wrong with Chick-fil-A.
No, but 3 milkshakes and 5 sandwiches in 5 minutes before a game maybe isn't so ideal. But I digress.
Correct.
I do think so because, like I said, pressure comes with high expectations, and we all here, and I would say 99.9% of the people at home, we have high expectations for Joel Embiid. And we know, kind of like we always used to talk about years ago with Ryan Howard, to where he was a ball club carrier. No disrespect to Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is great. But Joel Embiid moves the needle more when he's on the court than Ben Simmons does. Maybe that'll change. Maybe it'll change in a couple weeks here. We don't know. But from what we've seen so far, Joel Embiid moves that needle more than anybody in the city of Philadelphia. Maybe you could say the only, obviously, competitor to that is Carson because of the quarterback position. But to me, I absolutely
that's the only one close. Ben's polarizing for different reasons.
Because of Kendall. Because of the Kendall and the no shooting.
Well, no, I mean because he's a special player, and you want him to be what he can be, which is great. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're looking at one aspect of his game, which is just a jumper, the come around, and he's like you get the full package. So that's why he's scrutinized. What's up, Raymond? That's why he's scrutinized more than a lot of players in this city. But Ben and Joe, I mean, can be the most scrutinized guys in this city. Carson gets it, but Joel really gets it. Because you lose, it's like, oh, well, Joel's not in shape. Joel this, Joel that. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of pressure on him to come out and get over the hurdle that are the Kawhi Leonard bounces.
And too, on top of it, I don't really buy into it that much. I don't think anyone here does. But there's been rumors, quote unquote, that if things don't go well with the team, they're going to split the two up. So
yeah, I'll never buy that. I'll never buy that.
I agree with you. But again, kind of adding to the pressure, just even if it has no factor, that's a storyline that's coming out.
Absolutely coming out.
What up, Tariq?
What's up, Tariq?
Ralphie?
I'm so torn between agreeing and disagreeing because you can look from both sides, right? For me, you can agree with the whole Joel is the most under pressure because of what Ryan alluded to with the whole injuries in the playoffs, never staying healthy, can't stay in shape, stuff like that. But then you can also look at Ben Simmons and say, well, Ben's disappeared in the playoffs sometimes, and Joel's always been there whenever he's on the court, right? He's doing his stuff. But then you look at Ben, and it's like, dude, where were you in the fourth quarter in the last 5 minutes of the game? Joel's doing his. Why can't you do yours? So I'm so torn on agreeing or disagreeing. But if you know what, I'll just flip a coin, and I flip the coin, and I'm going to go with disagree. I didn't see you flip. I didn't it in my mind. All right, God damn it.
Who is it then, Ralph? Who is the most under pressure?
I think it's Al Horford right now. Al Horford right now is the most under pressure for the Sixers.
No, this is Philly athlete. This isn't Sixers. It's Philly athlete. This is Philly athlete. Who's under more pressure?
Yeah, but if I go Joel, it's gonna my list for the Sixers is gonna be it's irrelevant.
I'm asking you.
So I can't. In the list.
Yeah, I can't say Joel. It's got to. For me, it's Al Horford though. Tommy, you paid him all that money. This season has been a show of himself. We'll see what happens in the playoffs, but right now he's the most under pressure.
No.
He is.
No.
Ralph, would you say he's more under pressure than anybody on the Eagles or Phillies? Because, I mean, you can include one of those players, too. It's the entire city.
Reese Hoskins is more pressure than Warford.
Eagles, yes, because, again, as you alluded to, they're so far away. So, I'll give them over to Eagles.
And like Tommy said, the Eagles right now, I mean, the Eagles and Sixers are built right there for the championship, right? They're right there. I mean, they're 1 to 2 years away from getting the Eagles getting another Super Bowl and the Sixers getting a championship.
Listen, real quick, it's not Al Horford, okay?
To me, it is. It is.
Well, okay. I'm just telling you. First off, you go 2 guys on the Sixers that are under more pressure than Al Horford. You can go numerous guys on the Eagles that are under pressure, okay, to perform. You can go plenty of guys on the Phillies that are under more pressure than Al Horford in the city. Pressure comes with being a star. Pressure doesn't come with you just getting money.
Yeah, but for a guy that you paid that much for, and he's a show himself on the court already throughout the season. I mean, you backed up the Brinks trucks for him for a 33-year-old guy. And,
Ralph,
and he hasn't been performing though, Tommy.
I know the question is performance, but we're talking about a guy who's been on and off the court at times in Joel Embiid, a guy who you've seen dominate on numerous occasions, and he can carry you, right? And you've had different things that happen in Toronto when he couldn't get on the court, different situations there where that's where he becomes under pressure, under pressure to be on the court. Being pressure on the court is more than anything. It's more than anything. And
I agree with that, Quinn, too. Tobias Harris is another guy that has a lot of pressure on him.
He's all under a lot of pressure. Well, gun to my head, Joel Embiid's under the most because he's the one who's going to get – listen, who's the first guy to get scrutinized after losses? Is it Al Horford or is it Joel Embiid?
No, you're right on that. You're right on that.
Around this whole city, it's like Joel Embiid, Carson Wentz. Like, who gets scrutinized the most after losses? Joel Embiid, Carson Wentz. Oh, I'm not saying every time. I'm saying like the majority of the times in losses.
But then look at the both ways though too. When it's also not fair to Joel when he's putting up almost 35 and 15 a night, and then you look at the box score and Ben Simmons disappeared for the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
No, and that can happen.
But then Joel still gets the blame, but Ben Simmons doesn't.
Joel will get the blame because they can't play together. Then that blame comes in.
See, I never understood that.
It's a joke.
And I don't buy into the whole that those two are splitting up. You got 2 superstars right now that Philly hasn't had in a long time. You got to keep them together no matter what. You can't split them up.
Ralphie, so you think, and again, if it's your opinion, I'm just double checking here. You believe that arguably the 4th option on the Sixers, behind obviously Tobias, Simmons, and Embiid, and I'm not even talking about the coach, but offensively, we're just talking options here. The 4th option has more pressure than anybody on the Eagles?
I was just going off the Sixers.
No, all Philadelphia. No, you could put a freaking flyer in there. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. But no, I just think
we talk hockey on this show?
We just did. That was it. We just did.
No, but I just think it was just so hard between agreeing and a disagreeing that I just had it.
No, I mean, you're fine with disagreeing. You just got to bring somebody better to the table than Al Horford. That's all.
But how's he not under pressure, though, Al Horford?
He's not under pressure. Who said he's not under any pressure? I'm just saying Joel Embiid's under more pressure than Al Horford. Ben Simmons is under more pressure than Al Horford. Tobias Harris is under more pressure than Al Horford. You can make case that Josh Richardson's under more pressure than Al Horford.
Yep.
Josh Richardson, though.
Ralphie, I could argue the 5th wide receiver.
I don't agree.
I think Whiteside's under more pressure than Al Horford.
The 5th wide receiver on the Eagles is under more pressure than Al Horford.
Who?
Exactly.
Greg, agree or disagree? Joel Embiid is a Philly athlete under pressure. Joel Embiid is a Philly athlete most under pressure in 2020. Agree or disagree? And I love that, John. That's hysterical.
They're great. They're great blogs.
They are very good. They are very good blogs.
I'll go agree. And he's not going to make my short list later on just because I went in a different direction. but I absolutely agree to the poll. Especially just for almost these just quick points is we even as Tom you alluded to, or Ryan you said it earlier, one of you guys, he mentioned let's just get to the playoffs, right? I'm going to kind of almost coast my way through, where I was coasting my way through just till we get in the playoffs, and let's just get there. And then we also know from a basketball standpoint, from a playoff standpoint, the game slows down in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The game becomes such more of a half-court game than it does in the regular season. And what do you need? The best thing to have for a half-court game is a dominant low-post presence, and there's no better in the game than Joel Embiid. So he is absolutely under the most pressure. We wanted him to get to this point. I think he wants to be at this point, from a personal standpoint, because I think he wants to, not that they're haters, but the agitators, the, complainers. I think he wants to shut some people up too. And all reports, he's in shape.
He wants it, Greg. He wants it.
He absolutely wants it. You're absolutely right.
That's a great point because he wants the pressure too. So that's why another reason, it's a great reason to say that he actually embraces it and wants to be the leader of this team.
Horford.
Dillard.
Absolutely.
He's got his daddy right behind him. Of course he's under pressure.
Yeah, you got to protect your franchise quarterback from the blind side, Ralph. There's a movie on the blind side. I mean, grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? There's a movie called The Blind Side. Guys get paid a lot of money. You get paid fucking tons of dollars to protect the franchise quarterback. You're telling me Al Horford's under more pressure than Andre Dillard?
He just wanted
Dillard early.
Well, of course, Ralphie. Why would Dillard have pressure when he's apparently already a Hall of Famer in your eyes?
He is. He's already got the golden jacket, folks. All right?
Frank, do you agree with the poll?
I mean, I could agree with this poll. I mean, I agree with everybody said about Joel Embiid and possibly Ben Simmons, but, to a greater extent, you could put the entire Sixers roster, well, except for Ralph's suggestion of Al Horford, as under the most pressure. But the Sixers definitely do have a lot of pressure going into 2020, especially coming out of this lockdown, especially in the beginning of the season. Some of us thought that this team was going to make it to the NBA Finals and possibly winning the NBA Finals. And, I mean, we gave Horford boatloads of cash, to play like the Al Horford.
Yep.
That gave us headaches when he was in a Boston Celtics uniform, and he's not producing. Brett Brown on the hot seat if this team doesn't make it out of the second round, and he could possibly lose his job if they make a first round or another second round exit. So you hope this shutdown would definitely benefit the Sixers, and from what I'm reading and seeing so far, it's looking pretty good, and especially there is a rumor going around that Joel Embiid might get some more minutes during this startup.
Well, the great thing about it is that this is a team that you had a broken back essentially almost. You know what I mean? One of your star players, Joel Embiid, wasn't totally healthy, right? Josh Richardson wasn't totally healthy. I mean, there's three your important guys that they're trying to get to where you need to get to. So the shutdown actually benefited them, and now you have this like breath of fresh air moving forward. And it's almost it's essentially is a restart, right? I mean, it's exactly what it is. I mean, hey, we got to redo this whole thing. We got to redo. So I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm sure this basketball team's excited about it. When we talk baseball too, they're excited about it because we're going to give her a list of Philly athletes most under pressure heading into the 2020 here in terms of Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles. And we're going to give you a list in a few minutes. We'll read some of the comments before we head in there. But Quentin says Dillard easy over when he talked about which one, Horford or Dillard. Prism says Simmons been like 4 years active 3 and one attempt from 3. The height, defensive prowess, athleticism, agility. He's a monster. Well, he is a monster. I mean, he's an NBA first team all defensive player, Ben Simmons. Okay, so let's remember that, and having a healthy him and a healthy Josh Richardson on your perimeter is big time for this basketball team, boys. Big time, huge. This team can go to Eastern Conference Finals. I'm telling you, they could if they can just stay healthy. To stay healthy through it, they can easily go there.
And of course, if Brown does it right, you better hope it's Eastern Conference Finals or bust for Brett Brown.
For Brett Brown, it is no question, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Keith says, "How about Carter Hart? He's under pressure because he's young, because he's a puppy, but that's it. Not under the most, but definitely under pressure. Absolutely under pressure.
Agree under pressure, but not the most in the city of Philadelphia.
Not the most." And Quinn says, "We can't go out in the first round." Sorry, I was pulling a question. We can't go out in the first round. No way. No, we can't. For a lot of reasons. And well, for Brett Brown, he's going first round. But for these stars, you can't have that happen.
I'll ask you guys this, and Fam and Home chime in on this too. And again, I'm not saying I buy into any of it, and I'm not necessarily even talking about the big two, Ben or Joel. If they get eliminated in the first round, what percentage chance would you put on it that one of the big five, one of the starters, gets traded? Because you're hearing
one of the starters, like
yeah.
I would just say one of the other three. I wouldn't even say starters because I wouldn't even put. Me personally, I wouldn't even put Ben and Joe in there. Okay. So I would say out of the other three, if you want to say that,
I'll give it. Yeah. I'll go. See, you have two guys that are locked up for a lot of money, though.
I'll go Al Horford. They'll take dump back. They'll take a dump back. They'll find somebody that wants to dump something else back to him.
It would probably be the Buddy Hield trade scenario that I've seen or heard.
Mm-hmm.
Throw picks in there, you make it enticing. You know what I mean? You do some shit like that. Yeah. So that would be the first guy out. I don't think the bias is going anywhere. They like him too much.
Yep.
And Josh Richardson's on a good deal. So why would you deal?
He's still on his rookie deal.
So you're not going to go. You're not going to deal him. Here we go. What was this? Laura Walker says, honestly, if we stay healthy and COVID free, we could and should go to the NBA Finals. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more with that statement.
The way it's playing out, absolutely.
What'd you say, Greg? Say it again.
No, saying the way the other teams have kind of fallen and played out, like Indianapolis losing Oladipo, I think that's huge. I know they weren't playing well down the stretch.
He might be coming back.
Okay, well, so what? You know what I mean? But I think the other injuries and concerns and nicks that the other teams have had actually benefits us more to where going into it, I wouldn't necessarily have agreed with Lord's point because I thought, all right, we get there. They don't play well on the road, whatever, all that, right? But I think the way the rest of the league has kind of fallen, I think the Sixers benefit really well from this.
There's definitely a defined path now. And, like, I know a couple weeks ago we talked about, like, who we feared in the East the most. And I looked at it more. And there's a team that I was actually saying I was really afraid of, and that was the Toronto Raptors. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that if we played them, we would sweep them. But it kind of hit me the other night that, you know, we took this team to 7. With Kawhi Leonard, we had to go up to Toronto where we never win ever.
Hold on, right? And Joel Embiid missed the basketball game in the series, okay?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So factor that into that. And then won the NBA Finals.
And the bench was we didn't have any backup center to where it was kind of like a 2-for-1 punch against the Sixers because you didn't really have Joel, and when you had Joel, it really wasn't the real Joel Embiid.
But we did have Jimmy. We did have Jimmy.
Yeah.
Dan says he also had Jimmy. He wasn't our best player though. No. He wasn't the best player. He had like 15 shot clock violations there in Game 7. So.
Oh, and that's the thing too. Like, yeah, we had Jimmy, but I could argue when Brett in the middle of that series last year decided to take Ben Simmons off ball and have Jimmy Butler run the offense, I can argue the last 2 games it didn't work. To your point exactly, Tom, because of the shot clock violations. And yeah, he had a couple really key shots, but I don't think it really worked.
He always came up with key shots. I'm not taking shots. He came up with key shots. He was a big part of it. But I think this basketball team's deeper. Yep. That's all I'm going to say. When they added Burks and Robinson, this basketball team became deeper than the team last year.
Yep.
Okay? Because if you figure you lost Jimmy, you lost Redick. Okay, you brought in Horford, who hasn't lived up to potential. Absolutely. Right? And you brought in Josh Richardson, who I really like a lot. Okay? Mm-hmm. So you sort of even that out, and then you bring in Burks and Robinson, and now I think you're deeper than that team.
And Furkan's not the same player he was last year. He's way better now.
To say. You got an emergence you got that next level from Furkan.
He's like JJ Redick light.
Yeah, he is. Quinn, he probably plays better defense than JJ too, because JJ plays none. Quinn said if we had home court, we would have won that series. Absolutely. David Roskett, Young Clippers. Stan says the Heat's zone defense will expose Ben Simmons. It could, Stan, but guess what? It looks. I got a weird vibe that he's going to shoot some with no fans. and he's going to bury some, and people are going to go ballistic. I'm telling you. I smell it. Clip this shit for tomorrow. Ben Simmons is going to hit some threes early on here, and people are going to be like, ooh, we got to go defend that. And that little heat zone is going to go away real quick. You hit a couple. I hope he hits a couple.
Would be great if he hits a couple.
Okay? The zones go away real quick. And if he hits a couple, I'm telling you, he could be the best player in this league in 3 years.
Well, I honestly think not even
just where if people have to respect it enough, it's over.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. I think them not being in front of fans is actually going to your point, Tom. Like you kind of beat me to it because I was going right there. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten ourselves stuck and trapped in this situation before. Last summer, we were saying, oh, my God, he's releasing videos. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Brett Brown was saying, oh, my God, we're going to see it once a game, and we never saw it again. So I get it. We've seen this story before. But
maybe this is the time.
Well, I think if there is a time, it should be now because it's a controlled environment. That's almost like a practice because there's no crowd.
Right, it's all about comfortability, right? And that's what you're saying. And that's why I think he'll hit him too. That's why I think he'll shoot him. Stan says it's like Cody Parkey. It's like asking Cody Parkey to make a field goal. Not going to happen. Ben shooting the three. I mean, I can't argue with it.
I'm trying not to laugh, but if I wasn't laughing, I'd probably be crying right now. So that's a good comment.
Quinn says, we had no bench last year. None.
No.
None.
Boban Marjanovic was on our bench, and I love him.
James Ennis, though. I mean, he was great.
Jonathan Simmons.
Yeah, it was so bad that Mike Scott was like our bench. He was like our best bench player, and you know it's bad when that's the case.
Ben Joshua says, Heat zone defense gets a ton of credit for a team that isn't going to win more than the first round.
Didn't you guys beat them last year in the first round too?
Second.
Yeah.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
We did.
2 years ago? 2 years?
But we beat Brooklyn last year.
Brooklyn was Brooklyn was not. Yeah, Miami. Yeah.
Quentin says 5 over under Ben 3 attempts.
Under.
The whole thing. I'll go over. The whole thing. We'll take a shot.
I think we're going to see the threes, but whoa, I'm going under. I got to take baby steps now.
I'm going to take the over.
Let's see. I pray heavily every day for it because it's going to take divine intervention for Ben to shoot.
And this is the divine intervention, Chrome 2020. Okay, listen, aliens are coming next, and Ben hitting threes. So I mean, everything can happen now.
He's got some
2020.
He's got some lettuce on top.
You gotta believe.
He's got some lettuce on top. He's got the kung fu headband. He's coming in ready to go.
Yeah, I agree. Scott sucked, but the addition of Burks and Robinson
kind of cancel that out a little bit. Yeah,
cancel that out. So now he can play a lesser role.
Listen, Chrome, only in 2020 that would be the only year where Ben Simmons would make a 3 to send us into finally getting past the second round. Only in 2020. It would never happen in any other year. How many pounds do you think Embiid has gained during quarantine? Yeah.
Oh, he looks in great shape.
Yeah, he looks
in shape.
Yeah.
He fit into that quarantine outfit.
With the hazmat suit.
The hazmat suit.
No, you did not miss Crumb in the Deck. Chris, that's right. I did not put it out yet. I'm going to save it for the dumbest thing in a week slash Crumb in the Day for me.
I don't even know where you're going. I saw your post.
And I got an issue with some fans.
Ooh.
Some fans. Not a lot, just some. Just some. And I'll explain why at the end of the show. Yeah. So Don says I got the Raptors. Where's he? I got the Raptors beating the Bucks in the playoffs. Would love that. But then do we struggle against the Raptors again? I think I almost rather face the Bucks. But if I'm facing the Bucks, that means they're hot. They're probably playing good basketball. So do I want to face them? I don't know. Who's the lesser of the two evils? I'll take the team without a star. Give me the Raptors. You know what I mean? I'll take the team without a star. They're not doing it again. And we don't got to go to Toronto.
And they might not have Van Vliet. Van Vliet.
I don't care. They got freaking little Van Vliet. We don't got to go to Toronto. We don't got to play them in Toronto. I'll play them. We suck playing them in Toronto. It's not that they're better than us. We just can't play them in Toronto.
Canada.
And Drake and that friggin' Drake, he's not allowed anywhere in Disney, so we don't have to worry about him this year.
Cartman's been right the entire time. Blame Canada.
Yep. Quinn says, I got a question for the crew. If we lose in the Conference Finals is it a successful season? Absolutely.
For Brett Brown, yes. For the Sixers, no.
Yes, it is, and I'll tell you why. It's growth. It's growth. You want to show growth. So now you got out and knocked down the second round last year. Your young guys now they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. So now next year you're going in and it's finals or bust, right? It's all about growth. All about growth. That would be growth, Ralph. So
I would consider it. I would consider it.
He's good. He's all good. He's safe.
It's such a great question, Quentin, because it's a similar. Somebody asked us the same thing towards the end of the Eagles season last year, and we were having a big argument. I remember it was me, Tom, and Greg.
Justin, we'll drop the link in the chat, Justin.
Okay. Oh, it's also in the description too, Justin.
Yeah, it's in the description on Facebook.
Okay, cool.
If you hit see more, you'll be able to see it there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on phillydrinkers.com is where you can get it. There's an A2D part of the shop there that you can click on too. You want to go that route. Sorry, where were you, Rye?
No, you're good. You're good.
Real quick, to your point, Quentin says, I say no to his question. No, fire Brett. So he, even there, and he's not on board.
Gotcha.
He doesn't feel like that's successful. But I look at it like MJ, right? It was like steps, right? It was steps to get there all the time. Kobe, you got lucky because you got to go with the most dominant player of all time that I've ever watched in Shaquille O'Neal. So Kobe got lucky early on in his career to be able to play with somebody that great already and established, right? So a little different than most guys who have to do it, you know what I'm saying? Who have to take steps to end up winning. It's just the way it works. It's the way it works.
It's tough because similar to the Eagles discussion a handful of months ago, it's kind of like two answers, but really it's one, and the answer is yes. The answer is success, because if I were to say, compared to our expectations before the season, I would say no, it's not a successful season, because I think a lot of us were saying, well, no, see, I can't say that because I was saying I believe we're going to win a championship. I'm expecting a parade. But, Tom, you were even saying back in the summer that it was Eastern Conference Finals or bust.
Yep.
So I guess it's kind of different between us two. But I would say compared to where we were midseason or even right before the hiatus, where it seemed like we were on a fast track to be
first
round exit, I would say it's a big success because we played 2 extra rounds and 1 extra round compared to the last 2 seasons. So when you kind of mold them all together, it is a success because, like Tom said, number one, a lot of us had either Eastern Conference Finals or bust or finals or bust, so that fills in the bubble. And 2, compared to the last 2 seasons, it is a step above. So I would actually say it would be a success.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. I mean, because our expectations got lowered when the injuries happened and everything was going on. Yep. So now, it goes back up. Pootie, what up, Pootie?
What up, Poot?
The Bleach Report named Embiid 12th best player in the NBA. 12th? I don't know. I mean, I
would need to see who's high.
I agree with that.
I think we're close.
I agree.
Right around. Could be top 10 once he puts it all together.
Pootie Tang, if you can you copy and paste the other names they have in front of him?
I will say, though, in terms of success, ultimately, yes, you get to the next round, absolutely right, growth, success. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to feel happy if they get blown out and swept in 4 games. You know what I mean? So where
like it's how you go out. Yes, I understand that. But to get there, you wouldn't be happy getting there?
No. I said absolutely. It would be a success. It'd be that next step as we've, we kind of all hoped for this next, going into the year. And even now at the restart, everyone's jazzed up with, everything going on. And you're like, yeah, absolutely. Let's get to the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, nobody likes losing.
Yeah, absolutely. We get swept or blown out the doors. But, it's, kind of like the way we were last year. When you lose on a 700 hopper in Game 7 at the buzzer, it sucks. But at least you can say, hey, we were there.
Yep.
We were right in that game.
And then you lose, and like I said, nobody likes to wake up. Nobody wakes up to lose. So then we're gonna be pissed. But then we got to take a step back and remember that's growth. Now, if you get swept, in 4, you're gonna be pissed off, no question about it. Unhappy, underachieved, whatever you want to say. But then we got to take a step back and remember this is still a young core of your superstars that are coming into the ages of where they can start winning, right, and start winning it all. And this would be a huge jump for them to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. And listen, if they go there, that means they're playing great basketball, which if you ask me now, I'm going to tell you they're going to beat whoever the hell they're playing then. Okay? Because that means they figured it all out. That means Joel's dominating. Not Al Horford, Ralph, Joel Embiid.
That's true, Tom, because I was just going to go there because if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm up at the point, and listen, we got to see it. It's all speculation. But to me, I'm right there with you, Tom. If we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think we're going I think we're going all the way because
how can you not right now, right?
Yeah, because I think to the points from earlier, it seems like it's harder for us and kind of mapping out where we would be as an organization. Say, for example, if Kawhi didn't make the 10 bounce 3-pointer at the buzzer, it's kind of like it's been harder to get past the second round than it would be to get past the Eastern Conference. It's like once we get over that little bubble, it's like we're in. It's like it's harder to get past the second round than the third, as crazy as that sounds.
No, you're right. Like if you get 1-2, you're like, okay, now we're playing with house money. Yep. You know, why not us? Why not us? So I just think getting there, you know, everything is in play. Like, why can't you now? Or why can't you win the Eastern Conference Final? You know, why can't you? Like Quentin says, Lakers versus Sixers would be a great NBA Finals, and we would never see Ralph again.
I don't think Ralphie thinks the Lakers are even going to the finals anymore. I don't think so. He seemed pretty upset the other day.
You're up, Ralph.
JR didn't move the needle enough.
No, but when you lose another veteran like Rajon Rondo, but the weird thing is that the weird playoff Rondo is a great guy.
He's like the Motel 6 of point guards.
Justin just said he got his shirt. Thanks, brother. We appreciate the support. Love it, love it, love it.
Love it, brother.
Go ahead, Ralph. You crumb. What else were you saying? Nothing good. Go ahead.
But
You don't think the Lakers are going?
No. I think they still go. I think we have two superstars on our team, just like you guys do, and Anthony Davis, and you know the best player to ever step on the basketball court, you know, LeBron James. So I mean, you guys still have a shot.
And you guys are going to sign Mario Chalmers, so it's going to be fine.
Oh,
Don, I like this though. I think that the Mavs are a little sleeper out west. Mavs got a little sleeper.
It all depends.
Not to go win it. I'm just saying they'll play well. Like they can play well.
For them, it all depends on Porzingis' health because he's been
and Luka
prone.
Luka too. Luka's been banged up all year with the back.
Yeah, but I think he'll be fine. But I'm more.
It's another restart for a young team. That's all. I don't think they're going to win anything, but they can sneak it. They can
make a little run. Yeah, they can make a little run.
They can win around and make round 2 tough on somebody.
Yeah.
It's going to suck having the Mavs in the playoffs and not being able to see shots of Luka's mom in the stands. I mean, that's going to suck.
God, you're such a you're so creepy. Just go on Instagram, honey.
See, I was about to tip my hat to Greg talking about the Pelicans, but see, I don't even want to do that now after that comment. Like I was going to be like, I'm with Greg with the Pelicans. I think they could be a sleeper, but I don't know if I want to be with Greg right now.
I wouldn't want to be on that island.
No, I'm leaving that island right now. I'm swimming.
Now, real quick, are they continuing adding wins and losses from the regular records, or are they just squashing those records and just doing
they're adding them on.
They're adding them on. Okay.
Same record, 8 games, and you go from there.
Because right now, if the season ends, you guys will play Boston in the first round.
Yeah, I'll play Boston.
I'll be fine with Boston.
I don't want them. I'd rather have somebody lesser. But you know, if you want to get to where you got to get to, you got to get through to throw some dogs. I mean, you know what I mean? If you're going to get to where you want to get to, I don't love them. I don't want to see them in the first round, but come get it then, baby. Come get us. I'll take my chance.
Tough.
It's got to be a point where you got to stop running away, bro. You know what I mean? You got to come take it head on. Let's go. I want you in the first round.
Well this year. We played them well all year.
No, you guys have.
They can't stop Embiid. That's why they can't stop. They don't have anybody. They have Tyson. They have Enes Kanter.
Dude, he can eat in that game. He could chew up and eat in that game.
Absolutely.
He could be dropping 40 a night. I don't give a shit. If I'm saying this he can go to Eastern Conference Finals, then I shouldn't give a rat's ass who I play in the first round. Come get it. Come get it. If I believe that much in my team and this basketball team as a whole, why am I scared? I mean, I'm going to have to play him sometime. So come get me. Come get me. Give me your best shot.
And it's tough because I would say outside of the Sixers, my pick would be the Celtics. But so like we just said, I think that they're one of the more talented teams, but I think we match up better than we do with any other team just because of the Embiid factor.
Nope, you're right.
Like I don't
we stole Horford from them just because of that.
Yeah. And he played well against them, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He played well in the matchups versus the Celtics this year, and Al Horford did. True. So, all right, fam, we're talking, we're obviously talking, the Philly athlete under the most pressure heading into 2020, and it's going to tie into, we have lists here of 3 for each team. We didn't do the Flyers because the Hockey Happy Hour guys are going to handle that on Thursday for us. So they'll handle that for the guys and the family out there. But we're going to do Eagles, Sixers, Phillies. All right? And let's start with the Sixers since that's what we're talking about right now. And then we can go in the Phillies who start next Friday.
Let's go, baby.
And then we'll save the Eagles for last. We'll save our Eagles list for last.
All right. So we're doing Sixers, Phillies.
Eagles.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure how you were going to do the list. So,
well, I figured let's just continue on what we're talking about and stay on that.
Yeah.
Instead of going back. And then since the Phillies are next week, we might as well put them second. And then we'll go Eagles third.
All right. So I had it set up in my program in a very weird way. I wasn't sure what was going on. So yours is up, Tom.
You're all right,
Frank.
Ralph goes, you're all right.
Yeah. In front of him, Ralphie. So, listen, guys, I know other guys are going to take people lesser, right? But, I'm going to go, obviously, Joel Embiid because, I agreed to the poll question, so how would he not be on my list? Ben Simmons, this is no order, obviously. Ben Simmons, big time because, listen, if he shoots and makes some, pressure comes off of him. Right, and I think that's the pressure under Ben Simmons right now. Not his game. That part of his game, that's it. That's the only thing left. The only thing left is just to bury a couple. And it's all over. The conversation's over. I think in a closed environment, he's going to bury a couple. I truly do. And Josh Richardson, not really under pressure, but I need him to perform big time. And the reason I went Richardson, not Horford, because they're easy ones, right? So I wanted to go with a guy who's under a rookie deal, and this is important for his future to play well in this run. You know what I mean? Very important, and it's very important for the Sixers because it's a guard-driven league. He's got to be the defensive guy we think he can be, right, guys? And I think Josh Richardson can be that guy too. So not really under pressure, more just I knew a name that wasn't like I saw Greg's list, obviously when we sent him in. So I tried to go away from him, and I know Tobias was going to be one. I know all that. What's up, Ethan? I know Tobias would have been on the list, so I went different. But my 2 stars are under pressure. Not really for me, because I'm patient with my youngsters, but publicly they are, and both of them have things they have to overcome to get to where we want to get to, right? One, the fear of shooting. One, just being on the court all the time. That's it. That's it. Them 2 things stopped. This team's a title contender year in, year out. They are. As they continue to grow, and this dude shoots a couple jumpers, he becomes a top 5 player in the league. I'm telling you. He just starts shooting some, he becomes a top 5 player in the league.
No. If Ben Simmons starts shooting jumpers and gets his 15-footer down, he's going to be unstoppable. He's going to be unstoppable.
Yep.
Wow. Truly will be. All right, who's going next here?
Most of that list, I'll agree with.
Fruity put in the guy. They have Middleton above Embiid.
Yeah, that's a disgrace.
Tatum above Middleton.
That's actually right. That's right.
Shut up.
Chris Middleton's not better than Joel Embiid.
No.
Luka 5 is a disgrace. Right now.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Not yet. Calm down. All right, calm down. 5.
Jimmy Butler.
If you swap Jimmy and Middleton and move them after Joel, I'd be good with it, and that puts them 10.
There's no way Jimmy Butler's a top 10 player.
Whoa.
Jimmy, no.
I don't even know if Lillard's a top 10. Honestly,
Lillard is because he balls.
Lillard's a fucking tank.
I wouldn't put Jokic that far.
I wouldn't put Jokic at 6.
Love to have Lillard.
Fat slob, but he can ball. He's a fat slob, but he balls. So
was.
Yeah. Good point, Greg. Was. Good point, baby.
Oh, Clay and Steph. Okay, there you go. Clay and Steph. and KD excluded because of injury. Well, there you go.
Gotcha.
No, the list isn't good, though. I would put Joel over a lot of guys on the list, but he's still probably 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Agree, Quentin.
I mean, anybody who watches basketball loves Chris Middleton and knows he can flat out play. Nobody's debating that. I love Chris Middleton. He can play. I don't love him like that, but he can play. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, but not in the top 10. Grow up. You want to tell me top 25? I might be able to wrap my head around it. Yeah. Top 25? Sure. All right. Ryan can go next.
Go ahead, Ryan.
So I went with, and I kind of alluded to this earlier.
Whoa.
Hey.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Ralphie, did you see what I saw, Ralph? Did you see what I saw again? He created no set of rules here. No set of rules sometimes on Wednesday.
Frank, no. Frank knows he's in trouble because I asked Frank this. I know exactly where you're going. I know exactly. I knew it.
I didn't know coaches were part of this conversation. It said athlete.
I asked.
He don't play.
Frank's sharing DMs. What are you doing? Privacy, Frank. You can go to jail for that.
You don't play.
I knew this was coming. I asked Frank about 3 times. I said, "Hey, did you tell the guys that Brett Brown could be included, coaches?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, I'm good."
Yep.
I put it in the message.
Frank don't make the goddamn rules here. How would Frank making all the rules? You didn't relate to us. You didn't relate to the people, right?
You said the message.
No, you just went straight to the stores and got them to put it on the list. It's a disgrace. It's a violation that it says athletes everywhere. We've been saying athletes in the poll, and Brett Brown pops in my goddamn face. Unbelievable.
Is he not under pressure?
He's under pressure, but you said, look at it. It says athlete all over my thing. Athletes.
I'm about to start reading DMs. I'm about to start exposing.
Frank's in the doghouse.
Nope.
In the doghouse. Frank's
Whatever.
with the dog in the doghouse.
Frank, it's a fucking joke. Relax. Jesus.
Frank's eating with Brett in the doghouse. And Ryan's right with him, showing the same bowl because he went in my doghouse.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Frank's not in the doghouse. Ralph's in the doghouse.
Why is
Well,
Ralph?
Why am I in the doghouse?
3:44 a.m. Can we do a coach or just players for the main topic on Wednesday?
And you said sure.
Yeah, but nobody related to me and Greg.
Nobody related.
Hold the hell on. Shut up, Ralph. I'm going to say something now because this show isn't just a fix. You know?
Hold on. How am I in the doghouse now?
Hold on. We do a pretty good show Wednesdays, too, in case y'all missed it.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on. We did a pretty good show on Wednesdays, too, in case y'all missed it before quarantine, okay? So what's happening here is the PHIX guys, they do what they want to do, but the AM and the PAM guys don't get that information related to them. That's what's happening.
Hold on.
That's what happened. No. Greg, did we know there's coaches involved?
Greg knew. I told him.
Ryan didn't let me know.
The owner of the company doesn't even know it. That's how bad your 4 communication skills are.
No. I'll read you verbatim the text.
I don't care what he said to you. Nothing was said to me.
No.
Unbelievable. I really don't care.
Did Tom know he was allowed to pick coaches as well?
Oh, who said that?
I did to him. To Frank. I mentioned it in an earlier message, and I
was
said,
it?
Okay,
I might not have read it full.
All right, here we go. Hey, for tomorrow's show, our main topic is who needs to step up in the next couple months regarding the Eagles, Phillies, and Sixers. Send me 2 players/coaches on each team that are the most under pressure to perform. Feel free to shoot them over tonight or tomorrow.
Cool. No, I appreciate the paragraph too.
No. You got caught. You're lying.
Ralph, this
You're
is
lying in the paragraph. It said
I said he might have said it. I said I didn't read the whole thing. And then when I said
that's on you.
Well, I didn't blame anybody. I'm just breaking balls. I'm saying, but everywhere here says Philly athlete. So get your fucking facts straight, all 3 of you. All right? Figure out which one it is. Then you got to change it. Philly athlete says coach. Or everywhere. on the
Right,
point.
that's on you. You make criteria, dude. That's on you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I make criteria, Ralph, because I don't know if you know how to read or write. So I got to take that. I got to take that role.
Hey, don't blame me with the reading. Tommy didn't read it.
Lord, man. I mean, then Elm Brand's on my list. You know what I'm saying? Under pressure? Are you kidding me?
Under pressure.
See,
I agree.
Quintek's on my list. Matt Quintek's on my list. Howie Roseman's on my list to a point. So, I mean, we start expanding there. I mean, I got to change my whole list. But we're good. I'm having fun with you. Like, next time, just like 2 sentences, like needed tomorrow. We can do this and this. The last 6 days been so much ball. I don't even like. When I look at my phone, I think my eyes are so roasted by the sun. I got nothing. Obviously, not a good reader. So
It's all right. Everybody makes mistakes. It's all right. Let's just...
Quinn's on my side. Quentin, shut the fuck up, Ralph. Quentin's on my side. No, see.
Well, was it? No, I'm not even doing this. Never mind. Let's see. Brett Brown. I kind of alluded to it
We
earlier.
call that filler. On A2D radio.
Yes.
That's
That is. That is no sports for 6 months. We got to argue about something.
Yep.
That is the. We've argued enough about it.
Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that is the. We've argued enough about Andre Dillard. We need to argue about something else. Content.
Yeah, and not even. And the great thing is that we're arguing about a guy who's under pressure anyway and under a fucking time. So time's yours.
And you know what's funny? I thought the most controversial thing on my list was I was going to say that there's only one human in Philadelphia that's under more pressure than Joel, and that's Brett Brown. Because
unlike job on the line.
Yeah, because as much as people want to say, oh, well, Joel is going to get traded, we know for a fact if they get eliminated anywhere sooner than the Eastern Conference Finals, he's getting clipped. He's done. He's done.
He has to. He has to.
So, and then on top of the years, and I'll keep it simple with the other two because we kind of already talked about it. Joel, we illustrated at the very beginning, he's the most dominant player in the city, and he moves the needle the most. And then Ben Simmons, I could have put Al here, but I didn't because that's Ralph's job. But to me, it's all about the shooting, man. As much as I don't think his new position, quote unquote, is that big of a deal, I think it shows more of them integrating Shake Milton to the offense as far as, in comparison to them changing Ben's role. I don't think Ben's role is going to be that much different, to be honest. I think it's just going to be, hey, we're moving Ben to the 4, quote unquote, in this age of positionless basketball to give Shake Milton more of a role, give him more minutes, and also to say, hey, Ben, can you shoot for me, please? I think that's really all it's going to do. But he's got more pressure than Tobias and Al and Richardson and anyone on that bench. But to me, I think it's pretty simple. Brett Brown, if they don't do a good job, they've kind of thrown a Hail Mary into this, we're going to have a new offense when they really didn't need to because they could have just showed up and played because I think we would all agree they're the most talented starting 5 in the East. One of the most talented starting 5s, I would say, in the NBA. I'm not saying the most, but one of. So they really don't need to change a cute, but this was Brett Brown's decision, and he's going to have to own it if obviously it doesn't work. So I want to see Ralphie's here. I really want to see Ralphie's.
They got to.
Let's see, Tommy.
Oh wow! I said no. Absolutely, Rye's right.
Here we go, baby.
Here comes the screaming again.
All right. Well, this was in no particular order, but Brett Brown.
I'm gonna let him go because I've already argued with him. These guys are under more pressure than the 2 superstars. I just can't make it. Can't make it up. I don't get it. How does
Tobias Harris
under the most pressure?
If you look at Tobias Harris last playoffs, he was jack shit, dude. And then
I don't care. I don't care. It's superstar.
You paid him all that money, dude. Paid him all that money. He ain't do shit. Same thing with Al Horford. You paid him all that money. He's been a shell of himself. Can't do nothing. And Brett Brown, same dude, right? If he doesn't get past the second round, he's gone, man. There's so much pressure on Brett Brown, especially if this new system, with Shake Milton running the point guard and having Ben Simmons run off ball doesn't work. Oh, he's out. He's gone. He's out of here. So I think the most pressure right now is just on Brett Brown. And the question is that if that Shake Milton shit doesn't work in the 8 games and leading into playoffs, how long is he going to stick it for? How long is he going to stick with that lineup? So then you bring Al Horford back into
how hard is it? Hold on, how hard is it for them to make that adjustment? Like from going back to running the point again, like when he's done.
I understand that, but how long is he going to? If you also saw through Brett Brown's
give it, how long will it leash? If they're not winning games, then they're done with it. You know what I mean? If they're not winning games, then
then it was a waste of time. Then a waste of time.
Well, you got to try something, Ralph. They're trying to spice it up. Why don't you win your own goddamn team? We shouldn't even let you do a damn list. We shouldn't even let you do a damn list.
Hey, it's all right. You guys get past the second round this year.
Thanks. We appreciate that here.
If Al Horford shows up.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, he's important to it, but he's not.
How do you not have Embiid on your list?
Right.
Just how?
Because
I'm not arguing with you with Al.
Well, Greg's list is shit too. Greg's list is shit too. I mean, I'm done with his goddamn list. Why don't you just bring up his shit list too?
All right, it's up.
Yeah, dude, no.
Get out of
That's worse than mine, dude. That's worse than mine, dude.
Burkhallen's under more pressure than Joel Embiid, Greg.
No, I just went a different direction than Joel because I knew I agreed to the poll. Like I said, I absolutely agreed, Joel. I just went a different direction and kept him off because I knew he'd be on everybody else's list.
Oh, you went a totally different direction.
Thank you, Greg.
No,
I totally agree with that.
I like Ben Simmons to me, I think, is coming in with I kind of alluded to it, and we kind of all touched on it. I think he's coming in with a sense of purpose, coming back off the injury. I think he feels good physically. I think he feels good mentally. He seems like, the couple interviews he's done, or at least the clips where you hear him, he seems like he's a lot more confident. The clip the other day, you watching him shoot the threes, and then him saying, in Orlando, it's going to go down. You know what I mean? Like, I like hearing that from him because it's instilling confidence in himself. And I think he truly is coming in with a sense of purpose.
Real quick. Where was Luka? Luka's not top 10. I don't care about his stats, Prism. I love it. Or top 5. You gotta win some playoff rounds before you're a top 5 player on a list.
You gotta play him first.
You want to make an argument top 10 for numbers, okay? But you're not even in the playoffs yet. Can we let a guy win a little something before we even put him in? I'm not crushing him before we just put him in the top 10 or better yet, top 5. I mean, that's just a stretch. Go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
No, you're good. What else?
Bring Greg's list back up so people can see it.
Bring it back up.
Hold on, it's my list.
Sorry. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Show's over. End it.
I mean, Lord, give me strength on every goddamn list. God, Greg says trying to be different. Everybody put Brett Brown on the list. Besides, all 3 is a bunch of. This was an inner circle work in here. You know what I mean? It's like a CIA road mission. They went on like a CIA road mission. I don't give a shit that he's MVP candidate. He didn't go to playoffs yet in 2 years. Tell me he's MVP candidate. I don't care. I love you, President, but I don't care. Sometimes you got to win some shit. Something. I'm not saying he's not a star in the making. Absolutely is. He's a freaking pimp. But top 5 is egregious. Top 5 is egregious.
Furcon, Greg? Furcon?
So, Ben, getting back to Ben.
Oh, we're okay.
Just to finish up. I just think he's coming in with a purpose. I think he's ready to put the mythical rift between him and Joel away, right? I think they both are. And I do like the move. I think the move actually sets up better for Ben, even without a shot. You know what I mean? That one video of them going 5-on-5, and he caught the ball in the wing and just went to the basket and blew by everybody. Like, that's going to happen on a nightly basis now. The reason I threw Furcon on there is because we alluded to it earlier we now have a bench, right? And that's where these next 2 come into play. We've gone through the playoffs the last few years with 0 bench. And if Brett's going to play these 5-and-5 teams, right, Al Horford's going to have to be, a key cog in that second team. But, almost to a bigger extent, we played so much better this year, especially even on the road, when you were getting minutes and production out of Furcon. Is he truly the most under pressure? No, you're absolutely right. Joel Embiid is on that list. There's no question. Like I said, I just went in a different direction because I figured that, everybody was going to have Joel on there. But I think the emergence of Furkan on that second team, and then even if you throw him in the first team to space the floor, if he is shooting well, it's going to be better and more productive for our team.
Sure. I see what you're doing. Sure. Let's see. Frank, is there like an Al Horford obsession in this show today? Like I thought name that we weren't going to see is Al Horford.
I mean, I alluded to it earlier. You could put this whole entire team under pressure. I almost simply wrote all of them on my graphic, but
more than 3 though.
Real quick, guys. Real quick though. One thing Greg said before Frank goes. One thing Greg said, and it's a really good point. And he didn't really elaborate too deep on it, but moving Ben to the 4 now is a mismatch nightmare for 4s in this league because of the quickness. Okay, so now you can't have a guard on him because Shake's in the game. You can't do it. You have to go. You have to now put your 4 on him. And to me, way too athletic for 4s in this league, the majority, to be able to cover him. And that's why I think that this decision is actually very, very smart, extremely smart if you really want to dive, right? We're not going to dive too deep into it, but just as a mismatch nightmare on the offensive side, you already know he can cover 4s. You know what I'm saying? So now they got to cover him. I think that's a big thing that we're going to talk about moving forward here. So go ahead, Frank. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out before we get away from Ben Simmons.
And Don had the balls to call me Kevin. Do you see that comment?
I don't want to.
Stop it, Don. Stop it.
Get the hell out of here, Don.
Don.
Get the fuck out. Are you guys okay? Get a clue. Get a clue. I love you, Don. I love you, Ralph. Go Ralph. Don, go sleep head to toe in Ralphie's bed behind him tonight, okay? That's the kind of ridiculous comment. I love you. You're ridiculous. We're putting a guy after a handful of games above Joel.
That's gonna be a meme. What do you just
stance?
He played 6 games. He's better than Joel.
Yeah, I mean, stop.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And he's got knee problems too, Greg. Big time knee problems.
That doesn't fit ESPN's agenda, honey.
No, I know.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Frank.
All right, so I alluded to it earlier, Brett Brown on the hot seat. He needs to get out of the second round or else we might have a very interesting offseason and a potential coaching search. Al Horford, we gave him tons of money, not playing like himself, so hopefully the restart allows him to be like how he was in previous seasons. And, of course, I had a hard time deciding between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, but, you got to give it to the poster child of the process, Joel Embiid.
Very good, Frank.
Yeah, this whole thing's based around him saying trust the process. I mean, Christ. Yep. If everything doesn't fall on him and Ben's shoulders, who does it fall on? Over time. I'm not saying like this year, but if you get knocked out in the first round, it's not a good look. Now if you get knocked out by Boston in 7 in the first round, how does it happen? You know what I mean? How does it happen? You know what I'm saying? So there's that Brett's gone, but I'm not going to be done. I'm not done with my stars, or thinking they can't play together. Period. Ever. I think they can win championships together. And I said championships. You understand what I said? I didn't say one. I said championships. Yeah, Don, I'm not going to kill you, baby. I love you. You know this. But you're wrong. All right. So go ahead. Bring up. Now we'll go Phillies. All right. We'll shift. Next Friday, baby. Next Friday.
Let's go.
Some Phillies baseball back. A team that I think we all believe can be almost a little bit of a sleeper team, even though they play, in my opinion, one of, if not the toughest division in baseball. But definitely one of the top toughest divisions in baseball. Top 4 heavy at least. You know what I mean? And can this team compete offensively? I think they can, right? And I think they can put up crooked numbers. I think they can do that at times. I think they have the capabilities. What are we going to get out of staff? Well, we got to figure that out. I think our starting 5 is going to be good enough, right? So we'll talk.
You would hope so. You would hope so, Tommy. That your starting 5 is.
I got Nolan Wheeler. I should be in a good spot, right?
Yeah.
Be in a bad spot. So,
but then it all comes down to your 3, your 4, and your 5 in your rotation after those two.
And now I know we talk. Yeah, Rafa, you're right. Then it comes down to like the later names, and I know Greg has some, so I went away from that area. But with baseball, I expect a star is not going to win you a championship by himself, right? Not in the NBA, like the NBA, as you've seen, not by himself, but use the NBA. You can have 2 or 3. You have 2 or 3 stars.
Yeah,
that's what wins. So in baseball, it's different. You got to have a group of guys come together to win. It's tougher. Now stars help you, a bunch of stars help. But it's never 2. You know what I mean? You probably have 4 or 5 stars on your team if you're winning championships, right? But Rhys Hoskins under a ton of pressure, right? Because you expect Harper to hit, you expect Real Muto to hit, you expect a lot of these guys to hit, McCutchen, etc., right? Well, Rhys Hoskins struggled at the end of all through last year, okay? Not the guy that was like Babe Ruth, the reincarnation of Babe Ruth in this city. Wasn't living up to that expectation, boys, at all. So I'll go Rhys Hoskins. Has to get together, changed up some mechanics at the plate in the offseason. Definitely excited to see it. Nobody's been more critical of Rhys than me, and critical because I expect more. You know what I mean? And I understand struggling is part of baseball, but the year he had last year is atrocious, and I give a lot of the Gabe Kapler and the terrible, terrible approaches at the plate that was put in the head. And this game's so mental. You have a bad manager, it can definitely affect you at the plate. Everybody had career worst years under Kapler. Done. The bullpen. So important because there's a lot of unknowns outside of Hector Neris, right? We know what Hector is, but what else do we have back there? A lot of things like the Eagles cornerbacks last year. A lot of names, but who's going to step up? Adam Morgan going to need you. The list goes on guys in the bullpen that we don't need to get into. That we'll talk about as we move forward, but we'll see how it shapes out too because we really don't know what Girardi's idea is for the bullpen either. So we got to sort of get confirmation on where he's going, right, and his direction there. It hasn't been announced yet. So we'll see where they go there. My third guy is a big-time sleeper because when I looked around the lineup, I told you, I expect a lot of guys to hit. So can Adam Hazley hit at the big league level enough? And is Adam Hazley our center fielder of the future? Mm-hmm. So I think there's pressure on him to perform, especially with some of the prospects in the outfield for this baseball team moving forward. So Adam Hazley is a guy that needs to swing. Like I said, I expect the other guys to have their years now under Joe Girardi, right? Now Brian Price in the house. Washington's assistant hitting coach in the house as our hitting coach. So what's up, Tristan? So I'm extremely excited about this offense, but they're the question marks. Because,
I thought,
and it's not a shot at Hazley. Like I think Hazley can play, but we just need to know. We need to know more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm right on the same wavelength with you on Hazley. It's like, all right, do you get a small sample size, but do you cement yourself right now as the center fielder going forward for the next 5 years? Yeah,
like I think other things are like I think other things on this roster. Like, listen, go through the whole starting. The whole diamond, Reese under pressure, Kingery to me, not under pressure because he's going back home, right to second base. Then you go
back to his natural
position. You go DD at short, like no, he's not under pressure. Segura at third, maybe a little bit, a little bit. McCutchen, not really, not at all. He's not under pressure. Hazley, yeah. Harper, no. What I mean? Under big time pressure, where you think, they really have to play great. Like no, Harper's been good his whole career, so you don't expect anything less. So it's up to the other guys.
Yeah,
I agree, Tom. So there's going to be another argument here. Because Frank put the wrong couple players for mine, but it's okay because I think Real Muto has a lot of pressure just based off of the contract. What?
My bad.
That's all right.
Because when you sent me the thing, because I was trying to write everything down, trying to do everything at once, and then
sorry, Frank.
I completely forgot.
I'll just say I have 4. It's all right. I'll just say I have 4.
Real quick, and go to JT and get into it. But to me, he's not under pressure because he's arguably 1, 2, or 3 best catchers in baseball. Wherever you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. If people love some other guys more, good for them. But he's no question about it, top 3, and you can make it a big time argument the best catcher in baseball right now. Yep. So I don't think there's any pressure on him. Because somebody's going to pay him if it's not here,
and that's why I took him off So this was my first, and then I revised it, so I took them off.
Gotcha.
So in my real list, I have Jake Arrieta number one. Because not only is there a ton of pressure for him to perform in a team standpoint, we need him as a Phillies organization to really perform, because other than Wheeler, who's a big question mark as far as whether or not he's going to be available or if he's going to show up for the beginning. And two, with Nola, Nola's really not that big of a question mark as opposed to, are we going to see Nola of last year or Nola of 2 years ago? But either way, we know Nola's going to be pretty good no matter what. To me, Jake Arrieta, it's kind of, we need to figure out who the hell he is, because I was talking to Greg last night about this, and I was telling him, I said, well, I can make the argument, obviously after this year, he's going to be needing a new contract. If he has another horrendous season, he might be done, guys. He might be done, or at least, and maybe not out of the league done, but I mean,
he'd be out on his way out of here soon. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. To where if he has kind of a resurgent type
year. Does he have one more year, guys?
No, this is his last year.
This
is
his contract year. Yeah,
this is last year.
There's pressure to stay in the league, no question about it.
My second guy, not on this list, but it was Rhys Hoskins for the same reasoning you said, Tom. I almost put him on, actually, because he's not going to be out of the.
I think he is.
He was, he was very close, just because I don't think he's going to be out of the league per se. But if he has a bad season, he could end up being traded. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's coming up soon. You know what I mean? He's coming up soon on needing a deal. He can't bat 200. You know what I mean? And hit 25 home runs when you can find them guys everywhere. This guy's got to pop 35. This guy's got about 260, 270-ish. You know what I mean? That's what he needs to do. I don't need him batting 300, but he's got to hit 35 home runs. He's got about 265, 270. That's what he's got to do. And because, listen, you're not going to get more protection. I know people don't like talking about protection, but it's a real goddamn thing. You're not going to get more protection many places than you're going to get here. So if you can't hit around Real Muto and Harper, who the hell are you going to hit around?
Exactly.
I'll go play with Trout and Rendon. Does it? You know what I mean? Good. You probably won't hit there either. So who are you going to hit with?
True. So, to your point, Tom, and like we were saying earlier, if things don't go right for him, I could see sometime in the next year him getting traded for a couple bullpen arms. You know what I'm saying? Like something just like, okay, it didn't work, and him becoming a friggin', a DH for the Seattle Mariners. You know what I mean? Like things could go real south compared to where they were 2 years ago.
And the other side of that, to continue your point, he is 27 now, and then not that that's super old, but he's still on his rookie deal to where this is his last deal, and then he starts going to arbitration. So if you're 28, 29, Tom, back to your point about these guys are a dime a dozen hitting 220 and 30. You know what I mean? So why are we going to go to arbitration with a guy who's 28 and hits 220 and 30 home runs? We can go. I can bring up a Jalen Ortiz to do that from first base.
Absolutely. Listen, absolutely. You're not tied to these guys forever, especially in baseball. Yeah. So you have the flexibility to say, we're going to go in a different direction. So now it's up to the player. Like, this is your big deal. This is your big deal. So you're under a ton of pressure. You wouldn't be if you had the numbers I said last year, right? 260, 35 homers. You're not under pressure. You're going to get paid because you've been consistent, right? That year can screw up if you now combine it with a second year. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hit 240 either. Like, you gotta be a guy.
He's essentially got to rake this year. And in these 60 games, he has to rake.
Now, my numbers are off, Ralphie, to your point, because it's not 162. You know what I'm saying? But
I totally understand. But he's got to do better than he did last year in the second half of the season, though, Tommy.
No. He's got to have numbers that you would project 60 and say, okay, this is what his numbers would be at 162, right? It's got to project to that in a way, right? Like RBI and home run numbers, not average, because that's you know what I mean. It's not on base percentage, home runs, RBIs have to translate. I know people don't like talking about average, but you can't bat freaking 220, 230, 240 in this league. And you bat 240, but you better be hitting 55 then. Okay, you got to hit 55 then. You got to separate yourself. Separate yourself. So
and the third name I had, kind of my sleeper-ish name. We kind of talked about it a little bit last week. It's Scott Kingery. because he doesn't have that running excuse like he had in the last 2 years of, he's not playing his natural position. And it was a good excuse, by the way. So I'm not saying it wasn't justified, because Gabe Kapler had him everywhere but freaking catcher, at points. So he has his natural position now. And he's a guy going back 3-4 years that, we've been talking about right up there with Rhys Hoskins of being kind of, the young core of this baseball team. So now that he is put in his role, he's obviously bulked up. And it's tough for me to, somebody said to me the other day, like, oh, how can you put Scott Kingery in there, with the COVID stuff? But, by all accounts, he's going to be playing. So if he's going to be playing, that means he's ready to go. And if he's ready to go, I'm going to expect what I expect. So, with that being said, he really needs to take that next step. He showed flashes a lot in the last 2 seasons, but he lacked the consistency. Well,
you know why? Because it's the manager. Yep. Because he was a utility player. Yep. Like, if you're a utility player, you're going to lack consistency. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When you get to go back home, that's why I wouldn't put me personally. I'm not saying it's wrong. Mm-hmm. That's just why I wouldn't put him, because he's going back to his natural position and he's going to play there every day. So coming to the ballpark, I'm going to play every day. This is where I'm at the pro level for a young guy matters. So that's why, to me, you could put pressure on. There's no excuse. Absolutely, right? That's totally fair. But I think that excuse is actually going to go away. Now, I'm not saying he's freaking Chase Utley, but I mean, he's a guy who should be able to bat 270, should be able to pop 25 plus, right? So, I mean, that's sort of who we think he can be now.
He's a guy who has the ability to do everything really well, a very well-rounded ball player who, like we talked about, especially in the next coming years where we're going to have to really worry about who we're paying and when we're paying them. Scott Kingery, he's got a great contract. So while in the conversation's kind of the exact opposite to where a guy like Rhys Hoskins, to where it seemed like the last 3 years, it was Kingery and Hoskins as far as the young core type of a thing. Scott Kingery, and a big reason why he's on this list, because I love the kid. Just because kind of like what we were talking about with Embiid, I have high expectations for the kid. So to your point, Tom,
I don't have Embiid expectations for Kingery.
No. But it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, to where pressure comes with expectations. Hence, that's why you know what I'm saying.
I don't know. To me, I always thought he was going to be good. I never thought he was going to be great. Gotcha. So is that fair? Like, I never when I talk about Scott Kingery, I never talked about him being great or a franchise changer. I think the fan base took it that far.
Like a Chase Utley. If he's a Chase Utley, that's good.
It's not fair. He's never been a superstar at any level. He's been really good. He's been really good, but he's never been a superstar. So that's not even fair to put him in that. Rhys has the ability to have like star in him because he can drive the baseball. You know what I mean? When you can get hot and maybe hit 45 and 162, then you have star capabilities, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's up, Andy?
Scotty to me is always just going to be a really good player for you. Right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a shot. I love it. You know what I mean?
It also doesn't
you're right, Matt. You're right, but that's not a star, though. That's a damn good baseball player, though. Right?
That's very close to Cesar Hernandez. I mean, that 20 would be a little bit more pop. 20 would be more pop. Yes.
Cesar Hernandez.
But Cesar was right around 300.
Yeah. To me, like Matt, like 3's good. How much you getting on base, and then like if you want to say 300 and be a star, then you got to hit 35 plus to be in star category. Star's a different level, boys. Star's different. Star's Chase Utley in this city. Star's Ryan Howard in this city. Right? If you want to go back, Star's Jimmy Rollins in this city. It's not easy. It's not easy. Like that comes with winning too, right? It comes with a lot of things. So you got to carry to be a star. Like Harper's a star. Harper can carry you for a freaking week. You know what I mean? Is Kingery going to carry you for 2 weeks? I don't think. That's not fair.
I don't.
Harry's different.
No.
Harry's different.
Would it be fair to label him as a guy that he'll take you over the edge?
No, you know he's going to be your like. Look at. Trying to go back, like look at
2008. Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, look at the way he's got to be like a Victorino for you.
Okay,
right. So it's not going to be your star guy. It's going to be one of your guys, though. Yeah. Like it's a great piece to have because I think he can bring that like energy, things like that.
He can ride the baseball. Combo Victorino works.
I almost said Jeff.
Victorino could ride the baseball back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Victorino could hit a ball out too on your ass.
No,
The other thing with Kingery to remember too is, yes, his contract is very team friendly, but right now is his last year of his really. He's only making 1.5 this year. Next year he jumps to 4, then 6, then 8. So we kind of have to see right now back at second base whether you're going to be almost worth that. You know what I mean? Like, that deal looked good in a bubble. Hey, 4 for 28.
Yeah.
But now as he approaches that 30-year age, he's going to be starting to pay a lot more money. So we got to make sure he's worth that.
You're right. Listen, Tristan, I am excited about Wheeler, brother. I think we got one. Go ahead, Ralphie. What were you saying?
No, and going back to last year for Kingery, like Ryan said, I mean, the dude was every position last year except for pitcher and catcher. And like you always say, Tommy, it's not good for a young baseball.
He pitched.
Yeah, he pitched.
He did pitch.
He did. Like you always say, Tommy, it's not good for a young baseball player to come, go into the clubhouse and not have a designated area or batting spot in the lineup. You look at Kingery's. One day's in left field, one day's at second, one day's at third, one day short. He wasn't in one spot for the whole year.
Kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? He do that with little kids. I do that. I do that with like 11s, and then I do it with my 13s because they're so athletic. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what you do it with at them levels when you're developing players. You don't do that at the big league level when the guy's been a second baseman his whole life. That's not like,
he played second base through high school, college, and judo.
Yeah,
play second base in the major league.
Matt Quintak, get on the phone and move Cesar Hernandez then. That's the only option at that time then. Okay? Now you're doing a disservice. You can't move Hernandez for an arm of any sort. Like you can't move him for a four starter. You couldn't move him for a freaking a bullpen arm. I don't even care. You're not gonna have to break. You're not gonna go cover back for Hernandez, but you can get.
Exactly, and even how last year went, where down the second half, where your bullpen was completely thin, and Hernandez was in trade talks, and you didn't pull the trigger for a bullpen guy when you had Scott Kingery who played second base.
Hold on, Robbie, give me a AAA arm that's under the age of like 25.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like a bullpen arm. I don't even need a guy on my roster right now. Just give me some help in my, that in my farm a little bit. So I mean,
you started off with oh my God, what's the closer that we had that we just signed? I'm losing his name from the Yankees. He played for the Yankees.
David Robertson.
You lost him. You lost him 6 games into his season.
Was it even 6? I thought we lost him game 1. What was it, game 1 or 2?
It was.
What day did he get shelled? Game 2?
Yes, it was. It was after game 2. Yeah.
Okay, so you lost in 2 games in a season, so you lost your closer already, and then you lose Sir Anthony to the Tommy John. So your bullpen and your back end of the bullpen was already thin to begin with.
Yeah, because you look at it, and technically it wasn't game 2, but it was a second appearance, I believe.
Yeah, it felt like
that's what happened. When guys get their doors blown off, next day they're coming out and they get Tommy John. Now it goes. Yeah. You can almost smell like a guy gets absolutely tittied, and then all of a sudden it's like the next day it's like breaking news: David Robertson needs 42 surgeries.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, because I remember it was a midday game because I was driving because we were like 4-0 at that point. We were the best team in baseball through 4 games.
Yeah, he blew the game and he blew the save in Washington, his first appearance.
Because I was driving I was stuck in traffic on the way to the studio, and I was literally listening to it. I nearly drove off the road. I was literally like, "Oh my God, we were so positive."
Yeah, me and Noah were at the Spread Eagle watching.
Oh my God! I remember
Gavin,
that.
what are you doing, Gavin? I love these reports that come out. He looked good in the simulation game. Yeah.
He looked. There was a Philly writer yesterday that he said he looked beautiful. He threw a beautiful session.
Hey, but it was great watching those simulation games. So my baseball's back.
He got past 2 innings, Tommy. That's what he's making progress.
In a simulated baseball game where he had to
listen. Nobody on Philly Airways will give more credit than Brian Price as a pitching guy than probably me. Okay, nobody. Can we just stop with Vince Velasquez? As a starter, can we just put Vince Velasquez where I've been begging to put him and a lot of other guys have at the back end of your bullpen,
baby.
All right, and let him go out and let it fly for an inning. Let it fly for an inning.
Take out Velasquez and put in Spencer Howard.
I'm tired of the experiment. Brian Price wants you to go 7, right? He wants you. He wants the starters to go along. You think miraculously he's just sprinkled some some quality starts?
Some pixie dust.
You know what I mean? On Vince Velasquez? I'm over it. All right. Ralphie's list is up next. Let's get to it.
Oh, that was fun. I almost forgot we were.
I'm
That was
feeling
fun.
good, Taylor. Hey, we'll get to that argument when we should.
Taylor, it's coming, baby. Don't worry. We're on other lists are circulating. Eagles are next, family. Stay with us. Eagles lists are coming up after the Phillies, but Ralph's on the clock, and I'm excited to see what this jackass has.
So my number one guy is gonna be Rhys Hoskins, just for the fact that you saw last year he had a good first half, and then the second half came. It was just a goddamn roller coaster off the wheels, man.
Yeah,
I think of what he batted 171 or some 171, 161, something horrendous. And it can't happen again this year because you only got 60 games. And it also sucks too because you have Gene Segura, who's in your second hole, that gets on base a lot, and Bryce Harper that gets on base a lot. And you can't have that from your cleanup hitter this year, not in 60 games. So the biggest pressure right now in the Phillies is Rhys Hoskins to perform. My second guy is Bryce Harper. Okay, he can't take any days, no days off, Bryce. You got to fucking hit the ball.
Get him.
Sorry, person, but you got to hit the ball, dude. I need like 40, okay, not 40 home runs, but maybe like 25, 30, right in your range. But I need you to hit close to 300. I need you to hit maybe over 300 because this team relies on you, Bryce. Okay, you can't, no days off. I need you to play all 60. You got a hammy, icy hot. Okay, put it on. We got to get going.
You'll even rub it for him.
I'll run for you. Okay.
Rub it.
Rub.
Rub it. Yeah, I don't run. You only get me to run if you pay me money.
Like you
but
rub.
Yeah, Bryce has to. These 60 games are huge for Bryce.
He needs to be on pace for 45 plus home runs.
Has to, Tommy. Has to.
Can't get a free pass. Can't get a freaking free pass here. No free pass.
I ain't doing that this year. No.
Get him. Get him. Get him. We talk about contracts. Hold on. We talk about contracts. Go get him. How much is
you got 12 years left, Bryce. Okay? 12 years left. I remember that. You're down 1 year. And then my third guy is Jake.
Ralph, by the way, that was a very good intellectual monologue right there.
Hold on. Listen, can I talk about Ralphie? He's smarter than you guys think, guys. Sometimes you don't give him enough credit, and it's upsetting. He does a lot here. You know what I mean? Big time contributor.
He does a lot. I don't know if it's very good, but he does a lot.
I don't know if he's good. But this was very good. But you guys should give him more credit.
You know what he is, Tom? You were making a comparison earlier. I'll make another one. He's like the Eagles secondary from last year and the Phillies bullpen now. It's just a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's okay. It's just a lot of stuff.
The bedroom says it all. The bedroom says it all. A lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff. All right, back to us. Let's go ahead. Let's get back to her.
Taylor, get the laundry.
I still gotta fold them. They're clean clothes.
You have to fold them. You have to fold them.
Oh my God. All right, get back to your list.
You might be watching the show.
It's like the hearing aid out.
Yeah. Third is Jake Arrieta. After, obviously, Ryan touched on it with Arrieta. I mean, this is his last year here. He hasn't been worth the money that we gave him 3 years ago. And you don't know about Wheeler if he's going to be there for at least the 2 weeks of the season. So if that happens, then Arrieta is your number 2.
The Yankees lineup. You know what I mean? And we got to face the Yankees lineup now.
Twice. Back to back.
Yeah.
No stopping that. There's no in-between games with that. So Arrieta's got to be on. There's a lot of pressure with him, especially that if Wheeler doesn't show up, so then he becomes the number 2. This is all on Arrieta. Can we at least get something middle ground of what he was with Chicago? That's all I want. A little dose of Chicago from Jake Arrieta. We're good to go.
I mean, if we get a dose of Chicago.
A little bit. I just find the middle ground of it. You know what I mean?
We might be going to the World Series if we have Chicago.
Yeah, this is the guy who's made adjustments in the past and figured it out.
We're now getting Baltimore Oriole Jake Arrieta.
Yeah,
he's got to figure it out fast now.
But Greg, he's a guy who He's a guy who's made adjustments in the past to make himself.
No question. Absolutely.
Let's see if he has one more in him, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to Greg's list.
Greg's list, baby.
That's a great segue because there's my number one.
What the hell?
And
this is why I didn't go Arians, boys. This is why I did it, because I knew everybody would go. You know, it's one of them moves. That's why I went Hazley, because nobody was going to go.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's good play out of you. You guys had touched on it all the whole time. I'm just going to touch on the one thing we know about Jake Arrieta, though, is he will at least be in shape, right? So it's not going to be like a Bartolo Colon.
He's coming.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, Mr. Mankini and Speedo, he's going to be in shape. But I think kind of what I alluded to last week with the Nationals getting almost a break kind of with no start of the season till now. I think Jake Arrieta coming off the bone spurs, shutting it down last year. These couple months off, I hope, are going to benefit him very well.
Could benefit a lot. Could benefit a lot.
Absolutely. This is the year in the contract I thought was going to be the least productive. When we signed him 3 years ago, I figured we get year one. Year one was going to be, to Ralphie's point, semi-cubbish. Yeah. Year two was going to be like, all right, maybe we're back to the Baltimore Oriole days. And then year three this year was going to be like,
year three would have been year one.
Yeah. This year was going to be like, we had to make that move just to make that statement into the league that we were going to spend money.
It was supposed to. We thought this year would have been like the Cliff Lee last year with the Phillies. Like, okay, we had some good years, some good times, some laughs. Well, then let's just forget about it. Let's just move on.
Now it flip-flops now.
Oh, Santana move too. Like it was to show that hey, we're going to spend some dollars and cents here. We're going to go in the direction to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, blah 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 blah, and you know the guy you moved on from. You know, you would have rather moved on from the other guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Moved on from Marietta essentially in production than Santana. I mean, he just went back to Cleveland and said, "I'll hit." Or where did he go? Back to Cleveland, right?
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah,
Cleveland.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Again.
The only thing was go back and rake. So, I mean, you know, have a day, babe. Well, and I tell you what it was about, guys. I can yell it till people are tired of hearing about it, but it's about Gabe Kapler. It was about his coaching staff. It was about not knowing. So much factors into the mental side of baseball that this guy didn't get, and have real baseball guys back. And they talked about it last week and the week before and the week before and the week before. We were robbed from real baseball, you know, during baseball season with Joe Girardi, a guy we all wanted. The excitement level. It's just exciting to have it back next Friday. So go ahead, Greg. Finish off.
Yeah, no, and then right behind him in the rotation, because I have no. While there might be pressure, I have no issues with Nolan Wheeler. So right behind him, does Zach Eflin take that next step? We saw flashes last year of, hey, Eflin could be a top of the rotation type of guy, 2-3 type of guy. Does he take that next step? And then in the new form of baseball with the DH, you know, Jay Bruce being on our roster is such a key portion because. You know, if you look down at the rest of our bench, we don't really have that guy that's done the DH role before. And having a guy that's been there, has been experienced as the DH, I think helps us so much more than your traditional National League teams that might be struggling to find that traditional DH type of player. Because if you remember back in the late 2000s during our runs, Ryan Howard struggled at times in, you know, interleague play and stuff like that when they put him at DH. Because he was more engaged in the game from the defensive side and playing both sides versus just wanting to hit. Yeah. You know, so a lot of major, especially National League teams, get into those grooves where they're not pure. I can just hit, you know, 3 or 4 times a game, and my mind's going to stay in the game and stay engaged and be on top of it. Jay Bruce being on this roster is going to be huge. It's going to be key because he's going to provide that for us, and that veteran guy. That's done a DH role before.
All right. That's fair.
All right, let me get my list ready. There we go.
Let's see. Wow. There's nothing wrong with yours, Frank. I'm shocked. I'll say it later. There's a name. I'm shocked that's not on anybody's list. But I'll get to it later.
All right, so for me, Reese Hoskins, he had a dreadful second half to last season. And, of course, you've been in the center of several trade rumors involving, for one, Mr. Francisco Lindor. I hope he really takes that next step, try to shed that terrible 2019 ahead of him, and hopefully stay out of the trade talk. Number 2, I got the Phillies bullpen. Clentak failed to address the bullpen. I don't know what is up with Clentak and his avoidance of pitchers.
You could have stopped that statement at Clentak failed.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. He failed. There's no doubt about it. But especially with Girardi under the helm, and, of course, we've got a new pitching coach. So we're probably going to see something shape up in the bullpen, especially with this expanded 60-man roster. We might get to see some licks of potential prospects. Maybe for one, Mr. Spencer Howard might get a couple licks in the bullpen to see how he can do. That's why I'm going to go with the bullpen on this one. Number 3, Scott Kingery. Ryan, you just hit it on the head. You're finally going to play in your natural position, and hopefully he's going to be worth that potential contract coming up.
Very good, Frank. Very good. The name, and Gavin says I'm excited about Didi Gregorius this year. I think Gregorius is another sleeper, but the name I'm shocked nobody had, and I understand maybe why at the end of the day. I thought for sure Andrew McCutchen was going to be on this list. Just because
Uncle Larry. I thought about putting Uncle Larry on there.
Just because he moved the needle so much. You know what I mean?
Well, Andrew always produces. So, I mean, that's the thing. He's always been productive. So it's not like he's under pressure to be productive. I mean, maybe under pressure because of the knee, but that would be it. You know what I mean?
Kristen's suggestion, Gene Segura.
Yeah, I said Segura earlier, not on my list, but like an honorable mention.
I thought about him too, Segura.
But I think he's always another guy who's always hit. He's always hit everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think with a real baseball staff, he's going to do what he's done his whole career again.
That's fair.
And the other thing about Segura is not that we definitely obviously don't want him to fail by any means, but he's already under contract for the next couple of years. But realistically, he is just a stopgap at third base. Now we're obviously, if he rakes and hits, we're not going to sit there and completely just move him out of the way. But we do want Alec Baum up here at some point, right?
Spills has a question. Do we think we have any 8-game winners and who, assuming we go with a 5-man rotation?
Well, that would be, I mean, to me, it's one guy.
Yeah, it's only one.
It's your horse, your Friday Night Lights guy at LSU. It's Arnone.
Arnone.
It's no. I mean, yeah, you can make an argument for Wheeler maybe, but it hasn't shown that true consistency yet. It showed flashes of being really good and can be really good, but never the consistency Nola showed over a longer stretch, right? I mean, Nola showed top 5 Cy Young, top 7, 8 Cy Young for what, 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Where last year's little struggle bus at times. Yeah. So, again, I blame the lack of development and the numbers going down for all these guys on one guy and his damn coaching staff. That's it. So now we're gonna what?
This is actually a good question. Prism over under on Didi's home runs this year, 25.
I'm gonna go under.
Under.
I'll take the under.
Well, I mean,
everybody's gonna do that because it's only 6.
You're gonna be projected to be 25.
I'll
go over.
Projected, I'll go over.
And the other thing, real quick, on Wheeler,
the Grom, because they don't have Mets. What's his face, right, Greg?
Syndergaard.
So okay.
Yeah,
And Stroman, right?
Yep.
Lead off their top.
They do have Stroman, though, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the rotation's not that. They just showed it on MLB Network. The rest of the rotation's not something you're in love with either, though. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With no Syndergaard and no Wheeler, I mean, it really changes how good we think they are, too. They almost fall in the lap of us. They can hit, but what else? You know what I mean?
And then they have a couple of guys like Matz and a couple of guys at the bottom of rotation. Do they take those next step for them? You know what I mean? Does Matt?
Yeah, you're right. Does he take the? I don't know though. You're talking about Matz?
Yeah, Matz. But real quick, back to the 8 games in Wheeler. If Wheeler misses any time, there's almost no chance he wins 8 games.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
He might not get 8 starts at that point.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
John Lynch is in the offseason. Did you all ever buy the Garrett Cole to Philly hype? No.
I
just
wanted to.
Yeah, I would have taken it. I just thought it was so much of a friggin' hassle the year before with the Bryce Harper Machado thing. And they were still, it seems like they're not focused, but at least we thought their main priority was the JT Realmuto situation, which clearly, according to everything we've seen, apparently it's not, which is ridiculous. But no, there are too many other teams in play. But I would have taken it in 2 seconds.
Breaking news: our Uncle Sweeps. Uncle Sweeps makes me, a satyr. A couple kids I know over there make me a satyr in a way. I always bleed green for my wave, but Eustace took down Audubon 3-0 tonight. So
that was a good game.
Yeah.
F you all for making me miss that.
Okay, making you miss it. Unbelievable.
Wow, Craig. It always has to come back to you.
It always
selfish. You just say it, Ralph. It's selfish.
Come on, Greg.
Let's hear a story before we move on to the Eagles. Okay. So last night I sent Greg a message about we're going if we go, and I was saying, well, listen, we just got to keep her. We got to keep her space tonight a little bit, right? Maybe a pound, but maybe not a 6 foot distance, but at least a four piece. Joking around like 4 or 5 piece nugget sort of does a job. Sometimes up for a good snack. Anything else you're sort of overeating, right? But as I said that to him, so I get up. I had an early lesson at 8 a.m. So I'm driving in, and I was looking through my messages, and there he is, right there she is. And so I listened to the first message, and he goes, "Well, if you're gonna watch, if every step I take is going to be watched, then I don't know if I really want to go." And the woe is me began in no shape or form.
Snippy, a little snippy.
Yes, snippy. And now
there's no woe is me.
I'm going to tell him straight up. I was going to send 2 audios that you wouldn't have liked. All right. And I said, you know what? Let me get a little more caffeine in me before I absolutely come smoking. And I did. And we had a great talk. But he's just a jabron and thinks we don't see eye to eye, even though we do. But, it is what it is. And, and then I made an executive decision on my end that I was going to know way too many people there. And I was going to have to say hello to way too many people. And I'm like, you know what?
You know what that is, Tom? That's responsible.
All modern game, babe. When I want to ring there.
That's responsible.
Yeah, I want to ring there, man. You know what I mean? I own a sports media company. We're rocking and rolling.
Public figure, it's too crazy. It's too crazy.
You don't want to go out there and but Greg,
you don't want to start. Listen, you don't want to start a stir. Okay, we're still in a pandemic. You don't want to start a stir.
I mean, I'm not Andrew. I'm not my boy Andrew. I'm not state player of the year. But I could play, and then you look at
if Andrew's here, you're right here. I mean, it's close. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a drop.
After baseball matters. Life after baseball, and look at it.
Yeah,
we grew something big here. So now that's a lot of hello.
At the end of the day, you got to think about yourself. You know what I mean?
So Greg does.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see him? That was our conversation today.
We ask him. Well, I mean, another thing too. Going into today, we ask him, "Hey, Greg, you good for 8 p.m.?" Oh, I'll let you know, Greg. I'm still waiting for you to let me know.
Studio at 6:45.
I was getting ready to go to the game.
You ready? And I'm like, ready for what, dude? I'm sitting here with a headset on, essentially. Where are we going? I said, I thought Ryan talked to you. He said, yeah. And I said, well, didn't you know 8? Well, I didn't talk to you. I said, well, I'm right here. I assumed that you knew. I'm right here. You wait till 6:45. We going? Such an ass.
I was getting ready to go to the game.
What up, Kev?
What up, Jared Stidham?
What up? What up? Yeah.
I'm not
great. I just can't believe it, Kevin.
Yep, not doing it.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah.
Eagles,
Eagles. Yes. Let me get the share screen ready to go. There we go. All right. Tom, you are up.
Wentz, Schwartz. Yeah, I didn't know we could do coaches. So
for preface it, I didn't include a coach, so I'm clean.
Yeah,
I'm clean.
I did not include a coach either.
Eagles most under pressure. Listen.
Oh my.
I don't think Wentz is I don't put Wentz under pressure because Wentz can ball. All right, I don't put Darius Slay under pressure. Darius Slay can ball. I don't put Schwartz under pressure. Jim Schwartz defense always compete. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not. Them guys aren't under pressure to me. You know what I mean? You're talking about two of your star players, right? Like they're not under pressure. They're going to go in the NFL. Like only thing Carson's under pressure for is staying on the field. Like he's on the field. There's no pressure. You know what I'm saying, right, guys? I mean, on the field, there's no pressure for Carson. Let's look at really pressure guys. Let's look at pressure. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, almost pretty much non-existent last year. I mean, that's pressure. There's pressure to come in and now try to catch 45, 50 balls. You know what I mean? You got to.
If he sees a field though, that's another question too.
Well, I mean, he's second round pick, Ralph. I mean, so if you don't see the field, then there's pressure for him to see the field, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a guy who should be on. Honestly, should be on everybody's list because this is a second round pick. We're not talking about a fourth or fifth round pick here. We're talking about an asset used to upgrade a receiving core that desperately needed it. Can year two be a jump? I don't know. I don't got a crystal ball. I hope so. But he's under pressure to perform, absolutely. And then we go to your boy. When you draft a tackle in the first round, or anybody in the first round, especially a left tackle, they're under a ton of pressure in this city until they show that they can play at a Pro Bowl level, right? That's just how it works. So another young guy, Andre Dillard, under a lot of pressure, takes over the reins from a soon-to-be Hall of Famer one day, who's now plays guard for you, which I absolutely love. Footwork might be an issue, but I think he's such a vet he can figure it out quick. All right, I think that's because he's just such a vet. But Dillard, I mean, you got to block out the sun when you're a first-round left tackle. It's that simple. Ray Rhodes said it best about Jermaine Mayberry. Even though Jermaine was a guard, he said Jermaine Mayberry can block out the sun. Well, let me tell you something. Jermaine Mayberry blocked out the sun here. Jermaine Mayberry was an underrated offensive lineman here in Philadelphia. So Andre Dillard is under a ton of pressure because if he gets whooped, our quarterback might be on the sidelines. So there's pressure. There's a combo pressure for health of your quarterback that lies with Andre Dillard. And I'm not saying he can't play, Ralph. You know what I'm saying?
No, I tell you.
There's pressure for him to be able to show he can, right? And then my last guy is Derek Barnett. I mean, how's he not?
Yep.
How's he not? I mean, is he a guy contract year? Do you want to get paid? You want to get paid. You got to have double-digit sacks in this league to go get flat-out paid. And if he comes in and has a 10-plus sack season, which he's capable of because he has a motor too, right? He can, listen, this is the reason I didn't put Reagor on there because he's a first-round pick this year, young wide receiver. I'm not going to say there's a ton of pressure because there's other guys who have to perform better. You know what I mean? There's other guys that have been here that have to develop and show they can perform, right? And help you win football games. I mean, if people are going to tell me Derek Barnett's not under pressure, I'm going to tell people that they got to get help. If people are going to tell me that Andre Dillard isn't under a ton of pressure, I'm going to tell them people to go get help. If people are going to tell me that JJ is not under a ton of pressure, I'm going to tell people to go get help, especially when you use a first-round pick on a wide receiver. That ups the pressure game. You know what I mean? No, Don, he doesn't, Don. Because these guys that they picked have to fucking develop and show they can be legit NFL players consistently in this league. That's how it works. I'm not going to go with Wentz, who's proven it. I'm not going to go with Miles, who's proven it. I'm not going to go with Ertz, who's proven it. I'm not going to go with Jalen Mills, who's proven he can play at this level. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go with any of them guys. Slay, none of them guys. I'm going to go with guys you drafted are under pressure to perform your high picks. Your high picks. That's why you can put like Joe Moffitt. I love Joey. What's up, baby? I love you, brother. Audubon boy. We're family. Family. They lost the sweeps this team tonight, Joey, in baseball. It's a tough one for the Wave. But, he says Mills. And I don't agree with Mills because he plays. I totally agree with Dillard. And I agree with Jalen Reagor to a point, right? You know what I'm saying, guys? So, just to a point, I agree. I agree with it. But he won't make my list. But John Lynch has a good list. Dillard, Barnett, Mills. I would swap Mills and JJ. That's it.
But Tommy, even to go back to your list, right? And some of these names people are throwing out. Dillard, first-round pick. Barnett, first-round pick. JJ, second-round pick.
Yep.
Reagor, first-round pick.
Yep.
You know what I mean? To your point, you have to hit on these guys. even just from a salary cap standpoint, to make sure that you have the ability to go out and sign a Jason Peters to a 3-year deal at this point in his career, to sign a Jadeveon Clowney to kind of finish off that end group. You know what I mean? But if these guys don't hit, then you're cap struck, because you have to go out on the free agent market to find those guys and overpay for those guys versus being able to develop a guy and potentially sign them cheap.
Yeah, like Derek Barnett, where he was picked,
should be a superstar.
He should be a double-digit sack guy year in, year out. You know what I mean?
He should at least be consistent, which he hasn't been.
Who's it fall on? It falls on your general manager, Howie Roseman, who struggles with this. That's why these are such big picks. Tristan Sanders can't be on the list for me because I don't think he's under pressure. Because, I mean, he showed he can perform in this league.
Yeah.
You got to pick guys that showed they can't perform in this league. And can they perform? And they were high-round selections. Not free agents, nothing else. This is all high-round selections that have to perform for football teams to win. That's how teams win. That's how the Patriots won for years, too. It wasn't just Brady and Belichick. It was they drafted great. It's such a big part of that. Nobody talks about how well they drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, having a franchise quarterback and great head coach, pretty big part of it, obviously. We have that same thing here in terms of a franchise head coach and a franchise quarterback. So your other pieces in the football have to pan out. If your left tackle don't pan out, you're in a shitload of trouble because they don't grow on trees. A shitload. Mm-hmm. So Jason Peters might have to move back out there. That's not a good situation to be in. We joke about it, but it's not. He's your most important. He's even more important than JJ. That list wasn't like 1, 2, 3. Andre Dillard's the most important. He's got to block out the goddamn sun over there. Because there's a ton of ends in this division alone that can come get you. And show he can run block consistently. Right?
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying he can't do it all.
Yeah.
We'll see. What's up, Dominic? I love Peters. I love the Peters return, man. When I can get proven vets, proven Hall of Famers, right, back in my locker room, proven leaders, I think that's a win all day and every day and twice on Sunday. That's how I look at it. Yeah, but Don, is he anymore? Is he? You drafted all these fucking wide receivers. You used a second-round wide receiver last year and a first-round this year. If we're relying all on DeSean Jackson, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. That means we can't draft worse shit.
Nope.
Okay? That's what that means. So it's either these dudes make it and show they can play in this league, or it's bust city here. Because now what are you going to do? You're going to go sign a top-tier wide receiver? You're going to go sign a top-tier left tackle? Where are you getting all the money from? Where are you getting all the money from? Salary cap's on. It's not off like you can do in Madden. It's on. All right, Ryan.
So
see, now I'm going to have issue with Ryan.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Here we go.
I'll preface this by saying I knew a lot of guys would have Arcega-Whiteside and Barnett, so I purposely took them off just for continuity's sake. To me, I put Carson Wentz 1 just because it's the most important position in sports, and I think he's not necessarily in the city, but he's one of the most scrutinized quarterbacks in the league right now.
Listen, he gets scrutinized, right? But I would flip that, though. That's my issue. Because at the end of the day, what is he scrutinized for? Staying on the football field. Not scrutinized for production when he's on the football field, right? So the big part of him staying on the football field is the number 2 option, Andre Dillard, being able to protect his damn ass. So if you want to put him on your list, he'd be 3rd, to me. Because if he's on the field, he's a star. He's a star. And he proved that last year.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And I would just say...
I agree with you. Sorry, I agree with you. Scrutinized, polarizing, all that shit is absolutely factual.
Just because, and listen, I don't... For anyone who doesn't have him on the list, I understand it. Because it's kind of like the same thing like we always talk about when we have these lists. It's like... We always take Wentz out of it because it's the obvious name. So anyone who doesn't have it on the list,
right? You know why we take him out? Because we don't want to argue about it with the fan base that are a bunch of idiots, right? So we just purposely take him out so we can avoid what we've dealt with since the end of the Super Bowl. Okay, all right. Even though it was a magical moment, we all enjoyed it. but the year after was the worst year of football I've ever been a part of in terms of all the bullshit. Okay, I mean, I had never dealt with a year with more bullshit, even though we still won games. It's amazing.
The other thing I would say, and listen, the people who fall into this bubble are idiots, so I'll preface it by saying that. But I'll just put like Max Kellerman at the top of it, who idiot.
Yeah.
But his scrutiny isn't even with the health. It's that he's saying, oh well, he doesn't believe, even though Carson Wentz was very good with friggin' a bunch of guys last year, he doesn't believe that he's going to be any good with weapons. So my point is, and he's just going to be one of those guys. Honestly, we've seen it so far to where unless this kid wins a Super Bowl, there's always going to be something with him for the idiots. And I'm not even talking about the Nick Foles people. I'm just talking about for the Carson haters. But, there's a lot of pressure on him to A, stay healthy, B, take that next step now that he actually does have some talent. And two, like we talked about, while I love Carson, there are parts of last season when he didn't have, there was a stretch of 4 games where he just wasn't very good. And listen, it's not all his fault. So I'm not going to say it's his fault. It's the offensive line, it's the lack of weapons. So I understand. But so that's why I put him somewhere on this list. One, maybe that's a little too much. Dillard, Ralphie, all I better say, you better have Andre Dillard on your list. You better. Because I understand he's your child, but the adult is back in the city. The king is back. It's like we're friggin' quoting Conor McGregor. Jason Peters, and as much as people want to say, oh, he's the right guard, you're bringing him back to play like 3 positions, left guard, right guard, in case Andre Dillard sucks. That's why you brought him back for 1 year, $6 million. As much you can disagree with all you want, Ralph. That's why you bring him back. So he would be on this list if Jason Peters was in freaking Arizona or in New York, because the microscope's on him. And it's crazy because, Tom, you're in any other situation, I would say you're wrong by putting a lineman or any other position in, ahead of a quarterback. But in this scenario, he's arguably one, just because first round pick, obviously the crying. Jason Peters is back. Microscope, obviously left tackle, huge position. A lot of question marks on the offensive line.
And we just don't know.
Yep. True.
Sorry.
And also the bad track record of draft picks of Howie Roseman. And the third one.
Though, in defense of him, usually drafts well. Offensive lineman wise. Usually.
Yeah.
Sorry, eating a couple combos.
No, listen, I don't hate it. And third, I disagree with you, Tom. I think Jalen Mills is under a ton of pressure for this reason. Not necessarily in the Eagles' perspective, because as a team, we could say, okay, if Jalen Mills isn't very good, we have Kevon Wallace, we even have Will Parks, and he's not necessarily the cornerback 1 anymore. He's kind of a hybrid, cornerback 3, safety 2 type thing. And also for frame at home, I didn't put Sidney Jones because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Sidney Jones on this list. But to me, he's kind of in the same situation as like Reese Hoskins in a way, maybe even Jake Arrieta in a way, because if he's great and if he shows he can play cornerback very well and safety very well, it's only a 1 year deal. The kid's going to get paid. What was he, Frank? A 7th round pick? 6th round pick?
7th.
Seventh.
So,
7th.
Yeah, but the pressure isn't. I look at pressure as guys who haven't proven anything. You know what I mean? Like Jalen Mills has a ring and playing a position that probably isn't even his natural position, in my opinion, right? But still played it and was tough. Now he gets to move back to where I think he's better suited for, and we all do. I don't think there's pressure on him at all, because either way, he's going to get another job because there's enough tape of him showing he can prove it. So either way, he's going to get another job, and if he balls out, then great, it's a win-win for him. Then either he gets paid here or he gets paid somewhere else. So I don't think it's a lot of pressure. I think the pressure's off of him. I think he gets to go back into a more comfortable role in a way, and you add a Pro Bowl lockdown corner like Darius Slay, it relaxes your secondary. So now he gets to take away from a position where he did get burned on double moves and some of the things like that because speed wise he couldn't keep up with some of these guys. Now he gets to pull him as what Malcolm did, go back, be more of a center fielder, that plays more to his strengths, and he tackles well enough to play the position. The thing with Jalen Mills is why I don't have him unless he's proven he can play. So like he doesn't have to. He's not under pressure to prove he can play. If you want to talk about just getting another contract, fine. But the prove he can play, no, because he's proven it. There's tape. There's tape going back to college that he can play safety. But I'm just talking about in general. He's your starting safety, and that's where he should be.
Is it fair to say that he has to still show that he can play at the pro level with safety?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a ton of pressure because he's done it before. If you move into a position they never played before, absolutely agree. 100%. You're under a ton of pressure, but he's done it and he did it well. I don't know why he ever moved the corner. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because it was so bad. It's because we needed him to. That's why.
He did a good job of it. He did a good job of it.
They won a bowl. They won a Super Bowl with him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was on the field during that. They gave up like 1,000 yards, but still, they won a Super Bowl.
Stop Julio Jones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you look at that. He's tough. He's physical. He's a gamer. He's going to bring energy and effort every time he steps on the football field. So I mean, that's why he's not under pressure to me because he's just a guy who's just there. He wasn't a high asset pick, and it's a win pick no matter what happens. It's a win. Mm-hmm. It's a win pick. The other guys are not win picks.
Yeah. And like I said, if I wasn't kind of factoring in what the other, trying to be different, Dillard would be Dillard, yes. Barnett would be a lock 3. So he's really my 3. But I just moved it a little bit. Ralph, I see your list.
You're good. You're good. Spice it up a little bit. It's a conversation.
Well, speaking of spice, here we go.
Yeah.
Brace for impact.
All right. Time for the show.
Your throat. Yeah, clear your
Time for the show to begin, baby. All right. Number 1 for me is Sidney Jones. Just up and down, man. Roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster. You thought you were going to get that guy that was going to be a top 10 corner or a top 10 pick in that 2017 draft that eventually, that sucked towards Achilles.
Top 10 corner. Yeah. That's what you're top 10 corner. Right.
Are we allowed to scream on this roller coaster, or we have to keep everything inside?
You can do whatever you want, Greg. You can do whatever you want. You just got to make sure the bar clicks, so you don't fall out. But
at this point, I'll take a fallout.
Yeah.
Well done. You for two tonight, babe. Back great. Good job in spring training.
No, but Sidney Jones is number 1 for me. Obviously, you get Coleman and you get Slay, and still some of the spotlight still on Sidney Jones on the outside. Can he play? Because if he can't play, then you have Maddox that you can put on the outside. LeBlanc is on the outside that you can put on the outside as well. And obviously, if something happens to Sidney, you can just move Jalen, back to corner. My second guy is what did you say? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. My second guy is Derek Barnett, right? Another guy that, the night he was drafted, the next day, the newspaper had him, the next Reggie White for the Eagles. Well, he's been far from Reggie White, boys. So he's been nothing but nothing. He's in nothing, not even a Reggie White. Super Bowl year, he was all over the place. Second, third, down the hill. Nothing. Irrelevant. Can't stay on the field, banged up here and there. And then my third guy is Alshon Jeffrey. For these past 2 years after the Super Bowl, he's dropping passes. He's dropping passes that he's usually catching. He's not himself. He's starting to be a shell of himself. And at 20, and I understand that the $26 million, you're not going to move him and stuff like that.
Well, most of that was from him getting hurt, though.
And there you go. Can't stay healthy. Thank you, Frank.
Ralph.
Thank you, Frank.
Ralph.
What's up, buddy?
So you have Alshon Jeffrey.
Yes.
Who's a proven legitimate number 1 in this league over his career.
But over these last 2 years, he has
a lot of money.
Bad contract.
Over your starting left tackle that we just don't know enough about yet.
No, I'm not putting Dillard on there. No.
Why?
Not doing it.
Why?
Not doing it.
Why?
Dude, he played good when he filled in for Jason Peters, dude.
Do you watch
2.5 games? It was like
he played good, though. He played good.
Yeah, but that's not enough sample size to prove it. Then he cried. There was crying.
Come
There was
on,
man
man.
tears.
Lots of crying.
Come
Lots
on.
of crying.
Were you there? Did you see him cry?
I handed him a tissue.
Oh my God.
Over, Don. Over.
I'm going under.
No, I'm not saying he can't play, but I can't believe. I think it's a disgrace that he wouldn't be on lists. Like, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, he should be on every goddamn list. He's a first round left tackle who needs to show me he can
Who
prove.
played pretty good when he filled in for Jason.
Okay, it doesn't mean he's not under a ton of pressure.
Ah,
Is he not?
I don't think so. No.
Is he not?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
So, Ralph,
I don't think so.
If he doesn't play well for the first 4 weeks,
You got to roll with him, dude. He's your future left tackle, right?
Is he?
You got to roll with him. Yes, you got to roll with him, dude. You have to roll with him. I understand you brought Jason Peters back and stuff like that.
We're already recording, baby. We're already recording.
I'm not going to do this again. The guy is under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I know. We've been doing it for 10 plus weeks right now.
It's stupid to keep doing it, but
How many more times can we harp on it?
The fact that you can't admit that he's not under a lot of pressure is a flat out disgrace to me. There's a movie. There's tons of money backing it. Okay, it's the second highest paid position in the NFL. So you're going to tell me that our left tackle we drafted in the first round isn't under pressure to perform taking over for a future Hall of Famer? You're telling me that's not pressure? You tell me how. You can tell me you don't want to put him on your list, but don't tell me that he's not under pressure and a ton of it. Is he not?
Dude.
Yes, he is. I'm going to answer for you.
Right. He's done good, dude.
So he's not
done good. He should have finished. Okay.
Doing good. There's been no game. He hasn't played.
Check the tape. Just check. I'm not doing this argument for the 15th straight week in a row. I said what I said about Dillard and Peters.
Put up another West. I'm done. Put up another West. Here we go.
Yeah, move on. Because you know I'll dominate this any day. Yeah, turn off your camera. Go hide.
Listen, you couldn't.
What you got to do.
You couldn't dominate a 5-year-old in this conversation, okay?
Greg, did you change your list?
Damn it, I did it again.
No. I was wondering where that second name came from.
Bro, I'm done. Dude, this is the last week we're doing lists. I'm done. I'm not doing them no more.
It's fine. We can roll with it. I'm going to preface that.
Ralph, what are you talking about? He didn't screw up your list. He screwed up everybody else's. What are you talking about?
He screwed up one of mine before. Remember that?
Yeah, like 6 weeks ago.
I'm not doing another list again.
He probably did you a favor, though. Your list probably stunk, and he made it better.
I don't care.
Yo, you listen. You got to know how your teammates operate to get the best out of them. And when you guys go and on attack mode right now, we're not going to get the best out of our teammate.
Oh, you know shut up, Tommy.
And his list is coming up. Okay?
I don't think coddling is helping either. I don't think coddling is helping.
Probably right. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Sometimes you gotta be a Jimmy Butler, okay?
Sometimes we gotta try something different. All right, we gotta try. We gotta spice it up.
Greg's list is the worst of all time.
It's actually helped him because he had. Who did you really have, Greg?
He actually had T.J. Edwards at number 2.
T.J. Edwards number 2.
So I might have did you a favor then.
No, I'm on the T.J. Edwards bus, so we're good. I'm obviously preferencing that with yes. Hi, how you doing, John? I'm available for an assistant GM job whenever you need me.
Okay. Well, how about this, Greg? Explain to me. Can we pull his goddamn list back up?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We block his face. It's on him at this point. Okay. Lane Johnson. Yeah, just go ahead and talk about yours. I just can't why we have stars on our list. I don't understand why we have stars in the NFL.
Taylor.
What up, Taylor? Taylor's tissue. Appreciate you, brother. See how Ralph talks like it's his money, like he's at 2 McDoubles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about tissue. You offer tissues, Ralph. It's a donation for goddamn tissues. It ain't donation to feed your hunger. Okay? You don't want them 1-800 numbers. You're like, feed the kids. He's starving. That's going to sell, I'm sure. 25 cents a day. 25 cents a day. You're lucky you get a cent a day. They throw your picture around. All right?
Oh, that's why.
Imagine all these European kids and then a picture of Ralph.
Jesus Christ.
Hi, I'm Ralph. I stole all of it.
Good, Greg. Talk about your star list here and how TJ Edwards was on it, but Lane Johnson under a ton of pressure this year. Please elaborate.
So obviously, if you've just met me, you realize I'm not going to pick the obvious ones to just spice up the conversation. obviously Derek Barnett and Andre Dillard are probably the most under pressure. So I'm going to go Lane Johnson because I think Lane Johnson has proven not only is he so important to this team when he's on the field, but also when you're going to add in the fact of Jason Peters playing next to him and a new position on the opposite side of the line, I think that's just going to having Lane next to him and Jason Kelsey on the other side is going to help that transition for Jason Peters, and that's why I'm going Lane Johnson.
Yeah, no, Lane's an important name. I'm not saying he's not, but not under pressure. Like to perform, he's a name to perform, but I don't think he's under pressure. But yes, I agree. I agree to a point. I definitely do.
And then number 2 was TJ Edwards, just the fact that every other almost spot. And Rich Sproul too. TJ Edwards isn't guaranteed a starting spot either. He's just the only one really marked down there right now. But our linebackers is just a bunch of unknown right now. And so someone's going to have to step up, and I'm going to go TJ Edwards. Darius Slay, I'm just sick of talking Eagles right now. I want Sixers to come back, as we talked early, Sixers and Flyers to come back. I picked Slay because he's the only one in the back half that we know of, right? That's playing the position. He's that guy. He's in a big stage now.
Outside of Rodney. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Outside of Rodney. Yep. He's the only guy back there that we know has done the job somewhere else. So he's got his money. He's in a new city. I think actually it benefits him a little bit to start potentially with no fans, especially if he has a rough couple of days. But, he's going to be so key because that other side, the Sydney, the Avante, that other side's going to be potentially so picked on that when someone actually comes at Darius, I need him to be that lockdown guy that we know he is. And that's why I just put him there as the under pressure, just because.
Well, yeah, he got paid.
We need him to be that guy.
Yeah, when you get paid to be a guy,
Yep.
you got to be that guy. I don't disagree with that at all. But I agree with you with the Eagles, Greg. I'm done with the other sports coming back. I'm so excited to talk like actual sports that are going on.
Talk some new stuff.
It's going to be wonderful.
And it's not a shot at the Eagles. It's just that, we've had a long 100+ days here. So
it's been a long 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've talked a lot of everything.
A lot of birds.
A lot of birdies. So excited to talk some basketball just in general.
Baseball. Yeah.
And baseball moving forward. Baseball.
Thank God. Change it up. You know what I mean?
7 days, baby.
Next Wednesday, we gotta have an all baseball show next Wednesday.
You have to.
We gotta
wear
go
jerseys. Should we dress up like we're about to play and put some eye black on and stuff like that, or are we just
whatever you're into, babe?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Gotcha.
We're not here.
I'm sure you can Amazon Prime it.
Yeah. True.
There's any dictatorship. Just don't look. Just have a little class, honey. That's all.
So Frank, just relax, okay?
Yeah, whatever.
Frank, real quick question for the people: is your list right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. Then we have a big problem. Then if the problem we would have to go deeper. You know what I mean?
There'd be a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah. So I'm just
go down the rabbit hole.
confirming. If his list was off, then we're getting somewhere.
Frank?
All right, so number 1 on my list is Andre Dillard. Ralph, I have no idea why you did not have Andre Dillard on here.
You know why.
Well, we know why.
Of course.
It
It completely shocked me, when I got your list, that Andre Dillard wasn't on there. I mean, of course, you bring back Jason Peters, which, might light a little bit of a fire under Andre for a bit. We got to see some glimpses of what he can do. Can he do it all 16? So he's number 1 on my list. Number 2, I got Derek Barnett. You're in the last year of your rookie. Well, you're about to pick up your 5th-year option. You're in the center of trade rumors. He's been constantly inconsistent for past couple seasons. Injuries got in the way, some lack of judgment. I guess in some of his plays there was some lack of judgment. Take a look at the hard hits. He's not playing up to par with that 14th pick that we had. And 3, Sidney Jones. A lot of people had you as a top 10 corner in that draft. Yeah. Last year of your rookie deal, you got to step up.
Who's under more pressure, Sidney Jones or did you have Dillard?
I have Dillard, Barnett, and Jones.
Who was my third guy again?
JJ.
Barnett or JJ, yeah.
You had JJ 2, Barnett 3.
Yeah, so I mean, you can make a case that Sidney's under more pressure at this point of their careers because it's going longer, right? Going longer for Sidney, so you could make that case. So I'm not against Sidney being on any list. He would be an honorable mention for my list, absolutely.
Yeah, because I knew people were going to have JJ on their list. So I thought about putting him on the list, but I decided, you know what? I'm just going to find. I know Sidney was going to be on my list, and as well as Andre and Derek.
So, gentlemen, that was a great fun.
That was fun.
220 here.
Last time doing lists. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a while. Do them again.
Such a grumble lot. As the shots continue, I would lock your doors tonight if I was you, because the look you're getting from an Italian man ain't the look you want to get.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this guy compete? We saw it a couple weekends ago. All right, we saw when he gets.
I still got scratches, and the guy's a hawk. Energy, effort, cat. I can never be mad at him. You know, COVID's the only reason I was like, are we jumping on backs? If it wasn't for COVID, I love it. Get a little physicality. But I'm saving something for the people. And I know some people maybe on this panel aren't going to agree, and that's completely fine. And I don't even have a dumbest thing in a week. It's going to be crumb of the day. And it's the crybabies. Okay? Like, I get it. I get wanting to go to sporting events. I totally get it. It's awesome. I love going to baseball games. You know what I mean? Love it. I'll go to an Eagles game once every 2 years, maybe once a year, right? So I enjoy it. It's not something I don't enjoy. I enjoy going to a Sixers game. So I enjoy going. But at the end of the day, everything we've dealt with here, I just want sports back. So I can't be picky at a time like this.
Yeah.
I can't be like some people on Instagram, like, I bet you 99% of the Eagles fans will sign waivers. Good, great. I'm glad they would. But why? I mean, what's the point right now? Like right now, let's just hope we get sports to go off and be good and get through and enjoy it and have it back in our lives. And then we can cross the bridge of going back. You know what I mean? Then we cross the bridge of saying, okay, now we can go back. Right now, gun to my head, I just want it back, man. Why am I going to be picky right now? Everything that we've gone through, we've lost it for over 100 plus freaking days and no sports essentially are the four majors. All right. And now we're going to, I love Greg, but he talks about, his freedoms of going to a game. Like, come on. Like, all right, you're going to make it all political about your freedom. Your freedom.
No, I just said I want the choice to say whether I want to go or not. That's it.
Why? Just to say no?
Yeah.
Just to say no.
It's
why? What does that do to your freedom if you're going to say no anyway?
But I'm not. Maybe I don't say no.
So what are you going to do when you can't tailgate or do anything?
Why can't we? We're getting sports back. That wasn't. The fact that we're having this conversation means we're getting sports back.
Yeah, but why do we have to? Sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too. In a situation like this, a global pandemic, agree or disagree with it, it's not the conversation tonight. Conversation right now for the crumb of the day is people whining and crying about not being able to go. I think it's an absolute truth.
I just want to be able to make the choice whether I go, just like I make the choice whether I do something in the snow and whether people have the flu around me. You make that choice. That's it.
What are you doing in the snow?
Well, I make the choice whether I'm going to go out and drive to either go to work or get food or whatever it is. That's the choice to make.
We're comparing driving in the goddamn fucking snow.
But global pandemic.
Come on. I mean,
when you have people telling you what you can and can't do, that's the risk reward that each person makes when they go out the door each day.
Listen. I love to compare things. It's so fun to do in sports. I'm not doing this tonight. I'm just telling you.
You brought it up, and you brought me into it. I was going to let you go.
I wasn't bringing up a global pandemic. I was just talking about that we can't have our cake and eat it too. And I talked about our freedoms ain't lost. We can still watch the damn games right now. So let's enjoy what we have and then cross the bridge later. There's no point of whining and crying about not being able to go. I think it's not you. All right, take you out of the equation because I know you. Okay, but I'm going to talk about other people for a minute. It is the selfishness of being like, oh my God, we can't go. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my. Like this. Who cares? Let's watch it right now. And then listen. When When the time comes, then we can start barking about going, right? But right now, we haven't had it. So can we take one step before we take two? When does anybody take 2 steps before they're taking one? Somebody tell me that. Somebody tell me when somebody's taking 2 instead of 1. It's always one than the other, right? Right? The last time I checked. So with something like this, you got to take 1 step then the other. When 1 step is like, can we have it back? Please, God. We're owning a sports media company. You guys being part of this company forever. We want it back. So this, I'm not saying that's selfish of us to want it back, obviously, but it's for different reasons. Wanting to go to a game it doesn't have anything to do with B.
Well, I think Tom, just speaking for you and I don't think it's that much of a difference because you and I really didn't go anyway.
I go to baseball games a lot, and I know
a handful, yeah.
But I mean, Sixers tickets just got overpriced.
Yeah.
And Eagles tickets are overpriced. But if I get offered Eagles tickets in the right prices, I go. But it's not, but again, regardless if I go a lot or not, which I do to baseball games because I love it, it's the fact that I haven't had it in so long just watching it that to me, I'm just not there yet. I don't care. Not because I go or not go. It has nothing to do with it. It just has to do with I just want it back right now. So can I not yell and scream about the extra and just say, okay, I'll accept it. It's coming back. We'll get to the point of going. Let's just take it for what it is. It's back. Enjoy it. Everybody's got to complain. That's my point. Everybody's got to fucking complain. Just this is why people are coming today. Because stop fucking complaining. Not complain. Complain if it's not coming back. Okay? Complain if baseball said, you know what, we're shutting it down. Complain if the NBA said it's not going to work. The bubble ain't going to work. Then we start bitching and moaning, okay? But right now, what are we bitching and moaning about? There's enough pressure on these big businesses, all these owners, players, on down, right? They make this shit work, and we're going to be barking about. I mean, guys, I'm not taking it, saying anything, but guys got to go to a bubble and get locked down, guys. I mean, I know it's a resort, I know it's nice, but think about they're away from their families, etc. Right? Right? Yep. So can we factor in the sacrifice that some of these guys are making, call it a sacrifice or not, but it still is. It still is. When you're leaving your family and you can't see them, that becomes a sacrifice, regardless of how much money you're making. I know it's your job, but no part of your job criteria ever was leaving your family for 2+ months. Okay? That was never in the job criteria you signed up for to be a professional athlete. Fair? So let's put a little respect on these guys trying to bring it back and not bitch and moan about the goddamn fucking extra because I think it's ridiculous. Let's put some things in perspective for once. People don't put anything in perspective in this country anymore. Put it in perspective for a second. If I don't leave my family for 2.5 months, I don't care how much money you're paying me. If I'm leaving my wife and my kids for 2.5 months, what am I in the military? You understand? And I'm bubbled off. I can't even freaking leave. Call it what it is. The NBA made big time sacrifices these guys, and we're gonna bitch about being able to go to anything right now. Damn it, they're locked down, and they're locked down. We got locked down. For 10 days we were locked down, and people were already moaning and groaning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so put in perspective that these guys getting locked down. They're not even locked down with their goddamn families now.
Greg, you say that? I hear myself.
I hear myself now. It's an echo.
Greg, are you saying that if
clip that shit. You better clip all that because that's not a. I mean, you can clip the whole part with Greg too. I'm not trying to crush him. It wasn't about him. I seen this shit everywhere, all over Instagram. I didn't see anybody like, oh, let's just be happy we have sports back. All I saw was moaning and groaning. Just grow up a little bit, man. Why can't we just grow up? We got it. We got it back. One step at a damn time. But it's about woe is me with the world.
Yep, it's typical. People focus on what they can't have instead of what they do get. You ever notice that? You know what I'm saying? That's not to a specific person. That's just period.
No, the most successful people, do it the other way. You know what I mean? And I'm not like talking about anybody here. I'm talking about just in general. I mean, I understand Greg's point. I'm not against his point. And I'm not saying he was whining. I saw, our Instagram alone. You know what I mean? Our Instagram alone was enough to be like, geez, God, can you guys calm the hell down?
Oh, when we made that post yesterday, you would have thought we were announcing that sports wouldn't return until 2030. I mean, people were driving off the freaking bridge when we posted that.
Yeah. No sports for the next 2 years, and people are like, "Oh my God, no!" Like we don't know yet, really. Too when it comes to the NFL fully, it hasn't been totally decided. Yeah, I mean, there's talks about 20%, whatever, and Prism says 100%, 110% time. Most fans want to go would probably refuse to mask across the nation. That would be a COVID incubator. So like. Then people are going to, those kind of people are like, well, this is my freedom to not wear a mask too. And you're dealing with all that crap. And then people are saying, oh, we take everybody's temperature. You take temperature of 20,000 people, get a clue. You know what I mean? Like that's aggressive. Like that's not happening.
And to Lord Walker's point, this is why, and this is kind of a different part of the conversation. That's why last week, and we're already seeing evidence of it. I think it would have been a bad move, to your point, Tom, of instead of taking one step at a time to take freaking 5 steps and just take a giant leap to not only returning sports, but having sports fans back, regardless if it was 100% or friggin' 20%, it doesn't matter. Because what we're seeing already with the basketball, situation, and we kind of talked about this last week, that's one of the reasons why I'm not confident fully that we're going to see an entire session of the NBA playoffs / NBA finals, because we're already seeing in a controlled environment with so many, a small amount of people, to his point, 2 guys already tested positive in the bubble, and freaking Rashawn Holmes walked out of the bubble.
And another one, Brodo Caboclo went out of the bubble too.
Who?
Rockets player, Bruno Caboclo.
Oh, okay.
No, so I mean, listen, I think the NBA will still be able to pull it off. You know what I mean? At least, I'm crossing my fingers and praying, but I think they can still pull it off. And baseball, I really believe can pull it off. So, I'm excited, and I'm definitely excited for baseball next Friday. But I just want people to just put some things in perspective and be fair to some of these athletes too, because no matter how much you get paid, when you talk about the NBA guys, I mean, you're in a tough spot. I respect the guys going. I do. I know they're getting paid a lot to do it. But I respect it. I respect that, like, okay, you guys care more about the game than we thought you did.
Yep.
Right?
They're doing their part.
We always take shots at NBA players in today's game, and I think it's fair to give them some credit for once. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is shit you would do in the 90s. This is 90s kind of shit. No, we want to play, right? Like, I love that. And all the stars went, man. All the stars went. There was a couple guys that had to opt out for other personal reasons, and that's totally understandable. But the majority said, yeah, let's go play ball.
Yeah, I think the biggest...
not give them a ton of love right now.
I think the biggest star, and fam at home or anybody here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the biggest star who opted out was Bradley Beal, and that's because it's the friggin' Wizards. What are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I actually understand it.
Yeah, could you imagine the NFL moving the spring? I could see it. I could totally see it happen. Then it screws up the whole draft to be a mess.
I'm telling you, I'm betting. I really could see them doing a Thanksgiving Day launch. I'm serious. I'm really starting to predict that.
Well, we'll see. Let's see how the NBA works first, and we'll get there. Yeah. But listen, boys, anybody really got the dumbest thing in a week they got to get off their chests, or are we going to just...
Just some stupid driver that I encountered at Starbucks. Well, I didn't go to Starbucks. I went to the vitamin shop next to it. There was a driver in the middle of the intersection because the Starbucks near my house has the worst drive-through ever. And it's like going through a freaking maze. And driver blocks the intersection for me to get into the store that I need to get to. So, please go. Starbucks in Burlington, New Jersey. Their drive-through is terrible.
Mine was just going to be Maurice Jones-Drew, but people already know he's an idiot. So.
Well said, right?
I mean, I was just gonna laugh at Kelly Oubre for his tweets and becoming the NBA version of the Homer meme, where he falls back into the hedge, and then combine that with Rashawn Holmes.
Better than some good food.
Yeah.
Good ones. All right, guys. Well, we got a great show again, like we always do here.
That was fun.
Never a question. Yeah.
Very fun.
Like I said, this is one of the most exciting ones I'm getting ready for. Next week's even going to be more exciting for us.
I can't wait.
Because we're going to have opening day coming up Friday. So we're going to have a lot of chat about to happen here on next Wednesday night. I mean, I am really jacked up for it. Big time. I know Sunday night we'll probably on agree, disagree, do baseball too, I'm sure. And I have no problem, zero problem talking baseball back to back. Zero problem back to back in baseball. I'm so what?
You see?
Whoa.
Oh, good morning.
Hello.
Wow. So Yusuf says, breaking news: Jay Gruden has been accused of sexual assault during his final week as Redskins head coach. So what was that? It's like his going out party?
Wow.
Jeez.
Is this the bombshell report that people were talking about?
2020, I guess. Just 2020 is going to 2020.
John Guckin says, I hope I said your name right, brother. He says, will Embiid make it through 8 games? Yes, he will. Gavin, great show. Thanks, brother. Listen, thank all you guys, man. All you guys commenting in, through all this time, too, has been so important, and we're excited to talk sports with you guys again. Live. Michael DeAndre Peters is back. Yep, let's go, baby. Let's go. So for Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Ralph Dellavecchio, Greg Milakovic, Frank Vespe, and family out there, thanks for joining us. We have to thank our doc, make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. For all your A2D merch, PhillyDrinkers.com is where you can find it. The link's in our description on top of the Facebook. Go click on it or just go to PhillyDrinkers.com. You can find the A2D store right on there. Enjoy yourself. Tons of stuff to choose from. So rock the gear, baby. Get it on. Feels good. QB Factory shirts still 25% off for Eagles faithful. And 20% off Ambuck services. Deck restoration, gutter guards, all of it. Everything outside your house, he's got you covered. Michael Ambrose, 20% off. Telling the boys from A2D Radio sent you. Zion. Don. No, Don. No, he's not, Don. Don't do this. We're trying to get out of here. Trying to get out of this, what you're doing to us. All right, boys. Great show. Stay tuned tomorrow night. Lazy Book and Hockey Happy Hour. They'll get you your hockey fix, get you back going there. And Friday night, Jimmy will be on and talking birds with you. And then, the rest of the weekend. Agree, disagree. We'll probably be on Sunday night sometime. So stay tuned and giddy up. Sports are back. Love you, fam. Everybody stay safe out there. And Sixers going to Eastern Conference Finals. Book that shit. We out.